Our music might be a little too loud. I can tell. Alright. Perfect. Let me turn this. Gosh. My mic stand is beyond messed up. Alright. Also, where is my chat? That'd be sick to know. View. Yo, big drop. Okay, I can see chat. That's cool. Am I able to pop this out? That'd be awesome. Pop out chat. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. All right, let me fix a few things here. How long do you think market's gonna be down? Is it down right now? Honestly, I have no idea. I'll be honest. Let's see. That's weird. Is it down right now? Maybe. And I appreciate you guys jumping a while. Like, it's so crazy that I like new pin chat. Okay, cool. It's crazy to think that I stream and like there's already people saying what's up within minutes or like seconds, legitimately. Like floated. I don't. Market's up for me right now, so market doesn't seem to be down. Like floated with low items. Are like items not posting on the market right now? Is that the issue? Also, I kind of want to make a quick tweet that I'm live right now. I could have sworn YouTube has like a very easy way to like share. There we go. Okay, well, I do have an easy way. Okay, I'll take that back. Like floated with low items for gems. Maze and fuzzy. Not exactly sure what you mean. How long do you think the market will be down? Like floated with low items for gems. Market's not down. Low items? I don't know. I apologize. I'm not exactly sure like what you like what you're trying to say. Gosh, let me do this. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Almost done. It's hard to do this before. Come on, does that work? Yes. All right. It's crazy that the Veve tweets are like kind of low right now. Like I did hashtag Veve and there's like 30 tweets in the last hour. I could have sworn I remember back in the day there would be like thousands of tweets. Maybe it was because it was during like 12 days of Veve as well as like the flooded. Everyone is selling off to get the new drop. I think it'll last half the day. Like no one knows what the price of this NFT is going to be. Has DC had a history of selling NFTs like above their typical price? Like what was... Let's take a look at the Batmans really quick on market. This is one thing I do love about the like using ecomi.wikis, that it does tell you like the Brock's price initially. So like let's go ahead and take a look at Todd. Like how much was Todd initially? I don't know. I was clearly not around then. His box price was 80 gems. I was honestly not around at all during the black and white series. So was Edward more? Edward Rizzo? Let me see if he was like worth more. All right, let's close that. How long does that usually last, new to Veve? Honestly, I think before it would have lasted a while because there were less people on the platform, but there's just so many people on the platform now buying, selling, and injecting new gems into like the market or like the Veve economy and stuff. So like I do feel like pumps tend to last, so far historically, pumps tend to last like a good while. And then I guess it depends on the NFT, and then sell-offs aren't that long. Like this is a Batman one, but it's not a whole series announcement. I think the biggest dips we've seen is when there's a whole series of announcements, like 12 days of Veve when we had basically 12 days straight of just drops. Not every day had a drop, but there was a lot of drops. And then same thing with the Disney Golden Moments. There was essentially a drop maybe every day or at least every other day for a good amount of time. So, but Maze and Fuzzy, welcome to Veve. Curious how you heard of Veve and kind of like what you're looking at. Don't care too much about like how much you're looking to invest. If you want to share that, you can, but I usually love giving advice on how to flip and stuff. I'll be honest, when I initially started with the app, I only had $150. I put $150 in the app, and now it's, let's just say, much more than that. Like I'm 5 figures. I got lucky on a few drops, but I did flip my way all the way up to that point too as well. So Palvi Stanomurovic, sorry if I completely butchered that. Let's go. Yeah, dude, the new Batman thing. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'll try and pull it up here really quick. Without like, actually I'll just drag it over. That actually makes it a bit easier. So, that's actually like my picture for it, but we want to actually go to, Veve official really quick. Pretty big announcement. I don't think it's nothing massive. It is kind of nice because I think this is the first time we've had a Batman drop in like what, 8 months or something like that. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. So it says Killer Croc has a taste for revenge and is out for Dark Knight's Blood. The epic battle between Batman and its reptilian enemy is captured in premium digital collectible. Drops Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, January 23rd. 23,000 likes, 777 retweets. Pretty legit. I should probably hide that. Yeah, this is awesome. It's not showing us a lot of information. Veve will probably give us the Medium article, which goes in depth as to, is it a blind box drop? How many mints are there going to be? Are there going to be just this one collectible, which I kind of assume there is. There's going to be just the one collectible. Or are there going to be like common, uncommon, rare, all the way up to secret rare? It would be cool if there was like a common where he's holding his fist up, an uncommon where he's actually like punching Killer Croc, and then a rare where it's like kind of through the different motions, and then like the secret rare is just him hitting it. Maybe that's a little bit too violent for the app potentially. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's the only way I can conceptualize them actually making different variations or different mints. But as of right now, I assume it's just a one thing statue. It's gonna be like a rare or something like that. There might be an animated version. I have no idea. So we have to wait for the Medium article that will likely come out Friday or like early Saturday for that information. So it is the first battle statue, Daniel. Abreu, I think it's Abreu. Yes, that is definitely true. And it's also one of the more unique looking Batmans too, right? Like he's got the like charcoal gray and like navy look going on. It's not like the gray or like the gray and black. It's kind of one of the more classic looks. I'm sure one of these Batmans actually have that look. Not entirely sure like which one, but yeah, not entirely sure. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked for the drop. People have been waiting for a drop like this. I don't think this is enough to like stave off people like pumping blue chips and all that stuff, but like we need a series drop or a new IP with a small series, like a blind box drop of like a major IP. In my honest opinion, for like these blue chips and some of these like A tier NFTs to stop pumping up. Maze and Fuzzy, I got a Mickey for retail 60 gems and sold it for 350 because someone told me to, and now it's over 1K. Yeah, man, dude, just stay convicted with like, it's one thing I've learned in Veve is if you're unsure, just hold it. If you're unsure, like you'll never regret holding it. And honestly, you'll never, and I'm like, this is one thing I will say for certain, you'll never be able to sell an NFT either at its peak or buy it at its lowest. Like when you buy an NFT, it's going to keep dropping down. You're like, oh my God, I overspent by 200 gems. Like that's going to happen. And when you sell an NFT, it's going to pump by an extra 1,000 gems. You're like, oh my God, I could have got an extra 1,000 gems. Like it's going to happen. So like whenever you just have the gut feeling, and I know you're new, just listen to other content creators, like ask questions about, hey, I was thinking about selling my Steamboat Willie. Like, dude, I was there too. I have a full Steamboat Willie set, but there was at least like 7 or 8 times where I was like, dude, I want to sell the Steamboat Willie. I want to get a Todd. And like in hindsight, it probably would have been better to do that. Basically trade my Steamboat Willie 1-for-1 for Todd in hindsight. But now like after I've heard the community talk a lot, like quite a few content creators are saying like, dude, Steamboat Willie is a blue chip. It's gonna be extremely rare. The history is insane, and it's technically not Mickey and all that other stuff. So one thing I've learned is to basically not doubt the community. Like, I still don't have a Todd. I'm working my way up to one right now. I'm trying not to sell Steamboat Willie and like a few of the other blue chips I have. Like, I could get Todd right now if I wanted to, but there's a handful of NFTs I do not want to sell yet, so I'm kind of working my way up. But when I get Todd, like the reason why I want Todd so bad is because the community has been saying for legitimately the last 3 months, 4 months, like Todd is going to go to 100K by the end of this year. And I genuinely believe that. Like, if the community talks about it enough, they could just will it into existence. And like, when new celebrities or new whales go onto the Veve app, they're going to ask their friends where they heard it from, hey, I'm going to drop 20K on Veve, or I'm going to drop 10K on Veve. What do you suggest I buy? They're all going to say, hey, if you can afford a Todd or Superman or this Spider-Man ultra rare or whatever it is, they're going to start at the top and work their way down, which is why I think after 12 days of Veve, you saw all the blue chips go up, and then after those kind of settled, then it went to the A tier NFTs. Like, I would say Superman's blue chip, but his prices are pretty volatile, so maybe he's more of like a high A tier. NFT, I do like the nerd language, like S tier, A tier. So there's like, I would say A tier is like Wonder Woman, Superman. I'm trying to think of some other like ones that are like really, really good. They're not grails, but they're like really, really good. And you like can't go wrong. I would put Steamboat Willie up there. Like, Steamboat Willie, I don't know if he's gonna be a grail. I mean, he's working his way up there. Like, R2D2 kind of came out of nowhere. Like, no one thought of him as a grail. I would put him as like a mid. I would put him as like an A tier NFT. Todd is the grail of grails, in my opinion. Thanks, Daniel Abaro, first battle statue, yeah. Ultra dope statue, yeah. Let Cherry Vlogs. Only reason market is lightly dipping because everyone is assuming they're going to take an L from it being a single collectible. That's what I'm thinking too. Did they say it was going to be a single collectible? Maybe I didn't look into it. I'm like probably 90% certain that this is just going to be a single collectible. It's going to be something like a rare, and it's going to have, I don't even know how many mints. Let's say, I don't think it's going to be 5 digits. Like, it might be like sub 10,000. Maybe a bit more. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. And then it'll probably be like a rare or something like that. I can't see the first one being a common. It's either going to be, I can't see it being secret rare either. I don't know. It's completely up to Veve and DC at that point. Mason Fuzzy, they were saying it's only one collectible in Discord. Okay, good. All right. Todd is the Holy Grail single collectible, like Superman, one set. Well, Todd is actually paired up with Rizzo. They actually were in a set together. Here, I'll pull it up. I think that's what you mean. I don't know if you're talking about, because Todd, or like this, I don't know if you're talking about this one or actually Todd. So sorry if I'm like taking what you're saying out of context, but you can see here, if I hide my video capture device. I don't know why it's paired up with all these, but if you look in the app, I believe Todd was with Rizzo, at least if you look in the app. So I might be, I don't know why it's kind of showing all of those guys when they weren't all together, at least that I could see. Common, yeah. Xerox34, what's up? Got an ultra rare USPS 1971 today. Very significant date. Hell yeah. That is, that's a good one. That will fetch a very nice price. The hardest part is just finding a buyer that knows the relevant date and is like willing to pay extra for it. It's also very hard because like there's no chatting in the app right now, right? There's really no way to communicate outside of the feed. And that's like really hard to communicate with people, right? So like the best you could do is basically like, I guess not spam post, but like obviously post that stamp multiple times throughout the day. Talk about how relevant the date 1971 is. Hopefully if someone bites is like, oh my God, can I buy it from you? And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna list it for, you can almost just like negotiate in that chat. And then you can say, okay, I'm gonna list it for X amount. You can buy it for that much. Okay, deal. And then you list it. Like that's how you do negotiate. That's how I would imagine you would do negotiations in the app because there's no chatting directly, right? But yeah, I think Todd is Todd is and that's why I'm making it very much a concerted effort to get a Todd, is because Todd is the grail of grails. Anytime a new NFT comes out that people consider as a grail, they always compare it to Todd. And Todd is literally talked about probably every couple of minutes somewhere in the Veve community, whether it's like Twitter, Discord, or it's like the Twitter Spaces, or on YouTube, or in the comments, or like, and just general conversation. Like Todd is talked about all of the time. So that's one thing I'm like not doubting again, is like, if enough content creators and enough of the community kind of crowd around an idea or like a concept, like Steamboat Willie's gonna go up to 10K, where's he at? 10K. Or Todd is gonna go up to 100K before the end of the year. Like, if enough people believe it, and when people join the app and they hear it enough, they're gonna believe it as well. So all of the big whales are gonna go after Todd. I do think at some point this year, when enough whales get on the platform, or if there's like an organized community, like Todd's will just triple in price out of nowhere. I would say out of nowhere, but something will happen, or some sort of catalyst where big IP announcement, everything dips, and then Todd will just come back with like a vengeance and just go up to like 45. And at that point, he'll be out of range of everyone. That's just my personal opinion. Like, I could be wrong, but that's kind of what happened somewhat recently. How's the music, by the way? It's not like too loud or anything, right? It's meant to be mostly like background music. Do you see Amazing Spider-Man comics going to 40? I'm not too familiar with comics. Like, I really wish I could help you out. It kind of sucks because like I want to do my research on like comics and stuff, but I understand like the tiers and stuff like that, but I'm just not very bullish on like the comics. I understand like they can do extremely well, but I guess I'm just more focused on like the collectibles for the most part. And there's only like a handful of content creators that I feel like actually know their stuff when it comes to comics. So I understand why people approach me or other content creators about comics, but I apologize. Like, I'm just not that guy. Pay 5K for that, but I think this is a crazy deal. Oh, you paid 5K for the stamp. I don't know, where's it at now? It's the Day of the Dead stamp, right? Or which one are you talking about? Dead. It's going a bit slow. I might actually have to like refresh my page just because it's So you said you get the ultra rare, which is the highest rarity. Okay, so it's 5 times the floor. It is a significant date. There's not a lot of these. Less than 5,000. Yeah, I really think this could definitely like fetch a premium. You just have to find the right buyer. That's like the hardest part. You just have to find the right buyer. Like, you could definitely get a premium. I think this like something like this could actually fetch more like off app if the US government ever decides to like have their NFTs off platform. I have no idea. Like, that's going to be a very interesting point, is like when Immutable X happens, like which IPs are going to allow their NFTs to go off platform and be sold on Immutable X or other exchanges and stuff like that. So obviously we assume a lot of independent artists are going to do it like immediately because there's way less red tape. They could just say literally, yes, here's some paperwork and they're done. But like, I could definitely see Marvel, Disney, DC, US government, a handful of other of the IPs kind of be more hesitant and like want things to play out a bit longer. Maybe get some more like government involvement. I have no idea. But yeah, I think you got a good pick. It's just going to take a long while. That's definitely like a long-term hodl, like a very long-term hodl, in my opinion. Check Superman. I got you, dude. Superman. Congratulations to all the people that bought him during the dip at like 5.7, I think, like 5.6, 5.7. So you can see, yeah, he's up like $1,000. He's up like basically 1,100 gems. Again, I probably would have bought him, but I'm saving up for a Todd. Like, I probably could have afforded him if I wanted to, but still on that road to Todd right now. Yeah, a bit of a dip. People are definitely taking profits right now. This is he's almost at a second all-time high for total listings, which is kind of crazy to think about. Where's he at right now? I'm actually going to refresh this just because we are getting a bit of lag. And just give me 1 sec with this. There we go. go back to Superman. Yeah, it's much faster now. That's something that only the account did tell me, is like if it is lagging or slowing down, I do have to like just refresh the page really quick. All right, let's pull this open. Yeah, he did take a bit of it. Yeah, because he went all the way down to like barely sub 6,000. I could have sworn there was a point where he did go like 5,600, maybe for a brief moment, but he did. So congrats to all the people. I mean, it's up $1,000. DC NFTs are a 2.5% fee, so you get to save a bit of money there, which is nice. I do like that a lot. So, did the market react to Batman at all? I don't think so. Matter of fact, like I think more Todds were actually listed after the Batman announcement. Strangely enough, it does seem like people, for some reason, I have noticed the Todds have been trying to liquidate a bit, which is good for me. The price is dropping. I would love to get one like sub 11K. I'm kind of working my way up there now, but let me see if I can. Yeah, there's 200 listings, which I think like at some point yesterday there was like 170 something. I could be wrong. Yeah, like 160. Let me zoom in a bit more here. Get a closer look. Let's close that. Close this. Okay, so a couple days ago he was at 163. Seems like right when he hit 13.5K, people started taking profits, and now he is basically almost, I mean, he's not that far away from like an all-time high of like total listings. So when you see the listings come up, that means people are just taking profits. So you almost see like typically like the two lines like combat each other. Like when you see the listings go down and the price go up, obviously people just spent an absurd amount of money. So when we see the listings at 150 drop down to 86, but the price also rose quite a bit, that means people were buying it up. Or delisting, that's the other hard part. Some people do delist their NFTs as well. In a mass amounts like that in a very short period of time, probably not, but it is something that can happen. Let's take a look at some other ones. What's like I'm trying to find some like mid-tier ones. I don't want to always just look at like Todd and Rizzo. What's like another mid-tier one? Let's take a look at Batman Who Laughs. This one pumped out of nowhere. I remember telling people like a month ago to buy these for like 89 gems. And I kind of wish I followed my own advice because, yeah, he pumped extremely hard. Like I was telling people like late December, early January, I'm like, hey, pick this up. Like this is the best, one of the best NFTs you can get for sub 100. And yeah, it just pumped like no other. So I bought 3 of them and I sold them off slowly. I think I sold one at like, because I bought them at like 89. I sold them at 145, like kind of somewhere close to these peaks, not at the very tippy top. And then I sold my last one like right about here. I'm like, dude, he's at 210. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I'm gonna sell it, take my profit. Like there's no way it could just keep running. And then sure enough, it just runs away and just triples in price. So yeah, Batman Who Laughs, he's doing his own crazy thing right now. I don't think he's like reacting too much to the current market. Now Joe Maderi, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Joe, I just call him Joe Mad. Joe Mad is, I don't think he's actually a bad pickup. It would have been ideal to get him when he was at 1800, but he has shown a peak of, I need to remove this like yellow thing. Actually, sometimes that is just previously sold. I mean, he stopped just shy of 2,500, so not bad there. I also think he's probably one of the better looking Batmans. I would put him at number 3. Maybe even number 2. I'd put number 1 at Todd, of course. I do think that is the coolest looking one. But there's some pretty cool Batmans. Like, and like the more you look at them too, the more you end up like liking their aesthetic and stuff. So, I feel like this Batman drop will be similar to the Superman drop. 1 set, 1 collectible. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Pavel, is it Pavel? Pavle? Stanimirovic. I think I got that. Yeah, that's what's been said in Discord. Apparently, people in Discord said it's a 1 set thing, and that's it. And you buy it or you get it, and it's a single set. So that's cool. It's that boy Kiyo. What's up, dude? It's nice seeing you around. One way to avoid a dip when MTL hits is some good drops, but I don't think Veve cares. MTL hits is some good drops. I think so too. I don't think Veve cares. I think they're just trying to follow a certain timeline, and whatever happens, happens. I really don't care. I don't think Veve cares if things dip. Like, things are going to be so absurdly expensive and high priced. Like, in the future, it doesn't matter. Like, if MTL happened today, tomorrow, the only thing that could like really have a major impact on the market, kind of in a negative way, is if they release MTL to like every user on the platform at the same time. No, like, they just do like a waterfall release. They just like let it all out. But if they do a slow drip and more people in the community get it over the course of a few weeks or like months, that would be ideal. Coffee shots. Why is everyone scared of a dip with MTL? It's a buying. Exactly. And if you do feel that way, if you do feel like a dip is going to happen at any point, I mean, you could sell. It's up to you. Like, I think it's people are getting greedy, and I was that way too. I was definitely greedy. I was always trying and time the market perfectly and sell things at their peak and have things and try and buy at the bottom. Like, it's just way too volatile. Like, NFTs, it's not stocks where it's like connected to a company and there's a slow progression of like the stock going up and then down, and, you know, announcements like NFTs are so volatile. All it takes is one tweet from Dr. Profit or another big name content creator, or, you know, Omi Whale, and all it takes is one tweet and prices of certain NFTs just go up by 20%, or they go down by a lot. Like, who knows? Like, that's literally all it takes. So if all it takes is a tweet, and 15 to 20 minutes later something skyrockets by 20%, and you can't even notice it on something like ecomi.wiki, because ecomi.wiki updates every hour on the hour, you just miss it. So it's like, why even try like timing it? Like, and honestly, you can pretty much never go wrong hodling, like, long term. It's that boy Kyo. True, yes. Maze and Fuzzy, do you think DeLorean will go up lots over time? I think they all will. Matter of fact, Maze and Fuzzy, I would say, because you're newer, I will say DeLorean is like more well known and maybe like the safer bet. I would get the common because it's interactive. There's a ton of mints. Like, I will give it that. There is a ton of mints. There's 50,000 mints, which is, I'm surprised they did that many. I mean, that's a lot of mints for now, let alone like back then when they released this in April of last year. I do think DeLorean will do well. I think like now is actually a pretty decent time to buy. It's like actually not a bad time. I do think like, I think DeLorean's more popular, but I like the numbers of Ecto 1 better. It has a fifth of the mints. It's pretty much almost identical prices. It's a 10 gem difference between the two. It's also interactive. It's also common, FA, like all that stuff. I mostly like it because it has a fifth of the mints. I think Ghostbusters is probably more popular in just the US, but maybe Back to the Future is more popular internationally. Like, I have no idea. But these two graphs follow exactly hand in hand with like the DeLorean I've found. And there's not that many vehicles on Veve. So yeah, dude, Mason Fuzzy, I would love to help you out. If you have like a ballpark of like maybe how many gems you own, I can maybe give some like ideas. Like, I really like Uncommon Deadpool. Everyone's chasing Common Deadpool, but I really like Uncommon Deadpool because it's like nearly half the price, maybe a little bit more. And even if Common Deadpool runs up, like the Uncommon tends to like lag behind as well. So plus I just like the animation of like him holding his thumb up rather than him like doing a weird girly pose. I don't know, that's just me personally. But I do like Ecto 1 a little bit more than DeLorean, but I think you're safe either way. Like, if you pick one of those up, both of those will be good. And you have to look at this too, like just the fact that it even touched 170 means that there are a lot of people that are willing to buy between 133 and 170. And I do think whatever next big IP announcement is gonna happen, there's gonna be a sell-off, drop's gonna happen. People didn't get the drop. They're gonna have a bunch of gems left over because they sold a bunch of shit for it. And then they're gonna buy something. So that's gonna happen. It's that boy Kyo. How much does the site cost? It's 10 euro, which I believe was a little bit over $13 for me a month, which is totally worth it in my opinion. There's a lot of graphs I follow on here, and plus my YouTube channel is kind of centered around it. Like, I do market evaluations. I love to look at the total listings, price evaluations, comparing and contrasting, and like you get a lot of information on here, obviously, that you just would not get on Veve, like at all whatsoever. Gooseneck. I hope people sell their golden moments. I'll be ready with the gems. I like it. Are there any ones you're looking for specifically? R2D2 completely ran off, but like we'll pull up golden moments really quick actually. Golden moments. I gotta put an M in there, else it'll pull up like all the golden serial killers. In my opinion, the undervalued ones, like if I had to like put these into tiers, and it's not always revolved around price, in my opinion. Like R2D2 running up as fast as it did still just like boggles my mind. Ran all the way up to 8.5K when it was 2K a few days prior. Dipped down to 5,600 because people were taking profits. So you kind of notice the listings go down, chart goes up, or the price goes up when price goes down because people are just incessantly undercutting each other, trying to take advantage of the fact that like R2s are selling for 8,500. Listings went up by 153 all the way up to 227, like went up by quite a bit. That's how much is that? 50%. So the listings went up by 50% shortly after when R2 hit that high. So, but in my honest opinion, I think the NFTs that are like the golden moments that are like still undervalued. I mean, technically they all are. Like undervalued is a very like ambiguous term. Like undervalued compared to what and to how long? Like it's like, oh, R2D2's undervalued. It's like, okay, by what point though? Like, are you saying it's undervalued right now, like for its exact moment? Or are you talking like 6 months from now? Are you talking 10 years from now when you think it's gonna hit like 50K? Like, I don't know. I catch myself saying it. I'm not like, I don't like using the term like, oh, this is undervalued, but like, if I say usually undervalued, it's like, I think it's gonna go up in the near future, not like it has potential to go up 50K from now, because I think all the NFTs have that. Iron Man at 2.5K is pretty nice. He's like the leader of the Avengers. It's the FA version. It's not the FA I wanted, but it's the FA we got of Iron Man. I think Elsa too. Elsa's pretty big deal. Like I was putting Elsa as like #2 best golden moment. Maybe behind Mickey Hat. Like I had it like Walt, Mickey Hat, Elsa, Iron Man. This was like my personal like tier list. Then R2D2, C3PO, then what else is left? What am I missing? Then like Skateboard, Homer Bart, Pizza Planet, Truck are kind of towards in that group, and then Wally's unfortunately last place, but it is what it is. Nightwing. You gonna look up Nightwing, or you just have a question about Nightwing? Not too familiar with Nightwing. MD, hey, what's going on in here? Dude, we're just doing some price action stuff. Talking a little bit about the new Batman drop, which I'm stoked for. It's the first, what's it called? Battle set? Battle, let me pull it up. Ah, I closed it, whatever. It's the first like battle set or whatever it is, where there's actually a fight happening between two different characters in the same NFT, which is pretty cool. That can really open up some cool opportunities, I think, for future drops, especially if it's DC related. You know, do Batman and Joker, Batman and Penguin, and like all that stuff. I'm still waiting for the Flash. Personally, it's actually just convenient how I just have, like, I don't know if you guys can see. I should probably move this way. Huh! I have a standing desk. So I have to like stand on my toes. Got my Flash shirt on. Probably my favorite DC superhero is Flash. And then I'd probably put Iron Man over Batman. Not like NFT wise, but just like coolness. I like Iron Man over Batman personally. All right, so we got Nightwing pulled up. Nightwing's just like an old school classic. It just sucks because like not a lot of people are talking about him. Like I feel like the very early days of Veve, I heard like people were trading like 2 Todds for like a Nightwing. Like Nightwing was the Todd back then in a sense. And people put infinitely more, not infinitely, but people put way more value on just total mints rather than just kind of popularity or the actual like IP and stuff itself. So like Todd was cool, 7,500 mints common, like that was cool. But then when Nightwing came out, it's like, whoa, 1850, that's like a third of the mints, you know, or a fourth of the mints of Todd. Like, this is so rare. This has got to be worth more, which initially it was. Like, people were trading like 2 Todds for a Nightwing. But then, of course, that's kind of flipped. And it's kind of interesting seeing how the market goes, how the market puts value on different things. Like, I don't know if you guys were here during like the FA pump. Like, the FA thing was actually around for a while, but it wasn't until people were really talking about first appearances of the comics. And I think that kind of boggled people's minds, like, oh, what about first appearances of NFTs? And then all of a sudden, all the FAs of like all the heroes started pumping a lot, which is crazy. It's just interesting how as the VV just like economy progresses, the community puts value on different things and it just ebbs and flows, you know. I feel like there was a focus on like airdrops, and then there was like a focus on completing sets, and there was a focus on FAs, and then there was gosh, there's just been so many trends that have happened even just the last like 3 months, in my personal opinion. Hammond, what's up, VV Vibes? Got the drop today? No, I got an L2, dude. I'm legitimately like 2-25, maybe even more than that, like 2 and whatever. Like, I started VV a little over 3 months ago. I've won 2 comics, like, ever. And I've never, and I legitimately mean never got a rebound. Like, I've tried all the VV Vault tips and tricks and videos and time gate and align gate and the whole, what's it called? Like the whole metronome technique. Like, I've tried like literally 27 different techniques for comic drops. Never get them. I don't know if it's because of my internet or whatever, but like I have the same internet that I've had since I got all the other like blind box collectibles. I do extremely well on blind box collectibles. I think I win probably 70% of the time, just because all I have to do is just spam a spot. Like, I'm an old school gamer. Like, I just spam click one spot. It's super easy for me. But when it comes to the weird timing thing, like, I've kind of like, I'm mentally given up on it, to be honest. Like, every time I'm a comic drop, I'm like, whatever. Sometimes I just skip it because I'm like, I'd rather just go to the gym than like spend 30 minutes prior setting up for it, talking to people, and then like after the drop happens, going for rebounds for the next 30 minutes and like try to play the market. I'm like, I'd rather just do other stuff. Like, when it comes to comics, what is blind box collectibles or just like single drop collectibles? I do okay on the single drop ones, like this new one that's coming up, or kind of like the pick your NFT thing, like we did the most recently with Jermaine Rogers with like the Darrows and all that. Like, I do okay on those, but I do really well on like the blind box collectibles. Battle statue, thank you, that's it. Santa Mirovic, best advice, don't be greedy 100%. That's exactly it. Dude, I've tried the short-term flipping thing, and it did help when the market was like this. This is kind of when I was doing a lot of my flipping, is like when the market was like, most of November and like early December was a good month for flipping, because like there wasn't a lot of big announcements. Prices were kind of ebbing and flowing. Things were going up and down. So there was a bit of like margin trading to be had, where it's like, oh, this is down, like the listings are high here, I'm gonna buy, and then like the listings go down, I'm gonna sell it because the price is going up. So like I did a bit of that, but like I made some bad trades too. And then at the same time, eventually I just noticed that like, I was like, oh, there's this Todd sitting there. Like I have enough to buy it now, but like, I'll just wait. Before I know it, I'm like, holy shit, like Todd went from 3.7 up to 7K, and then now 9K, and then now wherever he's at now, I think he's at like 11. And it just started running away, and I'm like, maybe I should just buy blue chips and hold on to them, but still have enough gems to play on the market, because I like playing on the market and flipping and all that. Rolly's Vintage. Hi, how do you think about Zombie Spider-Man Common and the Deadpool Uncommon? Those are the ones I've been recommending people get since like 3 days ago. Both of them have pumped very well. I'm kind of curious. I actually just told some people earlier, like, I like the Deadpool Uncommon more than the Common, because first off, like, Uncommon's pumped a bit more than the Common. But there's less mints. I like the stance more, and anytime the Common pumps up, the Uncommon will follow. So that's kind of the nice part, that like, that's why I think sometimes like NFTs like the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, if any of the other Spider-Mans pump, like, we're talking like the Secret Rare, the Ultra Rare, or like the Ben Reilly's, if anything happens to those like three, most people can't afford those. And then what are they going to turn to? The Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. That's the next most affordable thing. And so I think people tend to forget that. So that's why personally, I think I bought like 9 or 10 Zombie Hunter Spider-Mans a while back. I managed to sell a little bit more than half of them and make some nice profit. But of course, prices have dipped quite a bit, so I'm kind of holding off on selling a few more. But I did stack those a while back, and I made out pretty well. Mostly because It was just the cheapest one on the market. I just knew eventually people were going to turn to the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man eventually. Mason Fuzzy, I got 200 gems at the moment. What would be a good buy for the buck? If that's legit, if that's all you have in your wallet, I would say just save it. To be quite honest, there's not a lot of things on Veve that you can get for sub 200 gems, but then like still have enough gems to play the drop. Because that's another thing too. We have no idea how many gems this next drop is for Batman. Comics, of course, are always 7. Like you always have enough for those, hopefully. But I would just say just hold on to it, because you never know. Like Sunday afternoon, after the whole Batman thing stops, Veve could announce a series drop. You know, it might not be a huge IP, but it's a series of drops where they're like, all right, we're gonna drop something Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday and Wednesday, and you might win the drop. Because that's what happened with me with like Sue Storm. Like I won Sue Storm, I got a common. She started selling for below floor price, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that, so I just held on to her. But then there's like another drop coming up in the near future. There could be, and then I might not have enough gems. So I like to tell people try and have at least like 100 gems minimum left over for drops, because you never know when there's like back-to-back drops that are going to be announced, and the last thing you want to do is like panic sell your NFTs to have enough for like multiple drops. I will say though, like but if you really want to invest, and this what's it called, battle statue is like under 60 gems, which I kind of doubt. I feel like it's gonna be closer to 80. I think Deadpool Ugly Sweater is a pretty good investment for under 200 gems. I'm trying to think of like what are some other good ones. I know some of the Marvel Mighties have seen some pumps recently, but I feel like they've already pumped. Like in a weird way, I feel like it's already too late. You know what I think is kind of a sleeper, and I told my friend this earlier, is Mr. Fantastic. Because think of it this way, I think he did pump recently because Sue Storm was announced in their own set. Veve's gonna, or you know, Veve/Marvel, they're gonna finish that set. They're gonna finish the Sue Storm set. Eventually they're gonna do Mr. Fantastic. Eventually they're gonna do the Thing. Eventually they're gonna do the Human Torch. Like they're gonna have all 4 in that Fantastic Four thing. So it's very preemptive, and we have no idea if it might take them a month each. I would think that like if they announced Sue Storm last week, that maybe every other week they'll announce the next Fantastic Four. I have no idea. But then again, we look at something like Storm, which was what, 2 months ago? I think she was like 2 months ago, and still not another X-Men. So I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, that is a pretty speculative buy. If you buy Mr. Fantastic and like they announce Mr. Fantastic for the next drop of like the Fantastic Four set, he will pump up. It'll be very short term, so you like better be ready. But other than that, that's kind of like a speculative pickup. John F. Walker's not bad. I kind of like Steve Rogers, but that's exactly 200 gems. So I would say the same thing, kind of like Coffee Shot said, just save your gems, dude. Yeah, save your gems. If you have that little, I would say if you have more than like 400, that's when you can kind of start making moves with like Marvel Mighties, like the Deadpools, Groots, low-end Storms, stuff like that. But so yeah, I agree with Coffee Shots. MD, I can imagine car prices in Veve approaching real car prices for the UR. And when we get Veveverse, and who would not buy a car for under 1K? Exactly. Who knows? I don't know if anyone could deny the fact that car prices could equal more. I am very bullish about the Veveverse, but at the same time, I think it's way further in the future than people realize. So unless you're going to buy the DeLorean today and hold it for 5 years until the Veveverse comes out, like Veveverse is coming out later today, but like having it as interactive as people would like, and being able to rent it out and make passive income and like drive it around to different places and all that crazy stuff, and having mini games and different abilities with like the Marvel Mighties, like I legitimately think that's like 2024, like at the earliest. That's just me, because designing games, especially like a VR game or just like a VR world with that level of interactivity and integration with NFTs, like it's gonna take a while to make. Like I don't know, because it doesn't sound like they have too many people working on it, and Veve is not like a game developer company. They would need to like outsource it to like either Facebook, where they're already working on the metaverse, or another company to do it. MD, what do you imagine will give you the best ROI if you had 10 to 20K and wanted to hold for 1 year? 10 to 20K and you wanted to hold for a year. Todd is one. So if you had 20K, I would say buy one Todd. Maybe wait a bit, like keep a really close eye on the market because there might be a small chance like Todd could get to like the low 10s, which he already might be right now. Like I would try and do that. Like try and wait around. Like just have a threshold. Like if you see Todd approaching 12, like maybe buy. Because where is he at right now? He's at 10.9 right now. So if he goes down to like closer to 10, like boom, that's half your money. I would say Todd. I would say maybe some of the Steamboat Willie commons and uncommons. I do think like if you really wanted to, you could just do Steamboat Willie Ultra Rare Todd and that's it and you're done. But I kind of want to get one big thing and a bunch of smaller things. So I would say Steamboat Willie common and uncommon. Then Superman. I don't know. Do you have enough for Superman? Because I can just see like any day now, like Superman just taking off one day. Superman, so what do we have left after that? So that's 6K, we'll call it even. So we have like what, 2K left? A little bit less than that, 7. We have like 1K left. And you have like 1K left, like I would just play drops or something. I don't know. That's what I would say. Like those are the big ones that I think could get you like the hardest ROI. There's plenty of those though. Or you could just stack, if you had 10, 20 grand, just stack 4,000 Groots or something like that. And just chill on them. Just completely move the price from 90 gems like the uncommons. I would get the uncommons too, by the way, ideally for the Groots, because as far as I know, it's the only uncommon NFT that's animated. We'll actually pull up Groot really quick. Even though it's actually less, it's actually dropped. Before, I think the Holiday Groot, the uncommon, was going for like 96-ish, 98, and this was going for 60, so that's a little less than double the price of the common, but it's animated. Even though it's just the lights and it's kind of a lame animation, it's still animated. But yeah, if to hold for 1 year, Todd, the Steamboat Willies, if you want to just get the ultra rare Steamboat Willies, and then Superman. You could also Jim Lee Joke. I really think the Jokers are very underrated. I've mentioned this before in Randy Chavez's stream. Between all of the Batmans, like, so I'll just do this. Shoot. There are, and I did the math. Between all these Batmans, excluding Batman Who Laughs, because it's still Batman, but it's very different than like your typical Batman. So like people that like the more classic looking, let's say, Batman, because I think the Batman Who Laughs from the comics, I think he's like less than like 4 or 5 years old. It's actually a pretty new iteration of Batman. But like all the Batmans, there's 59,000 Batmans between all the different variations. And if you include Batman Who Laughs, that's like an additional 17,000 Batman. So at that point, we're talking, what? Almost 70,000 Batmans. But there's only 11,000 Jokers on the app total. So there's, if we're not even including Batman Who Laughs, there's 59,000 Batmans and there's only 11,000 Jokers on the app. So I think every Batman fan who's like a legitimate fan that has a good amount of money, they're going to want both. They're going to want a Batman. They might not be able to afford Todd, but they could get a Jim Lee Joker. They can get a Dick Sprang. Like, there's only 11,000 Jokers, but there's 59,000 Batman. So there's literally 1/5 of the amount of Jokers compared to Batmans. Like, I understand more people are going to want Batman, but if people want both, there's not that many available. Sorry, let me catch up with chat here. Angelo Flores, my app crashes when I hit the buy button. Yeah, maybe put in a support ticket, uninstall, reinstall, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I've never had that issue before where it crashes my app, but there's been times where I click it and there's like a delay, or I'll spam click it. This is what's been happening with comics, which is why I suck at comics, is when I spam click, it just, the buy button just stays gray and it doesn't like register me clicking the buy button, I guess, because I'm clicking it too fast. So I always time comics now, or I've been doing that for a while. So Yeah, I would call the, not call, but go in like the Discord and do like the support thing. MD, I hear you are selling a ton of, I hear you are selling of a lot of these market pumps. Where I live, we can sell without capital gains tax if we hold for a year. Do you think trading is worth it in my situation, or should I just hold? You're selling. I'm selling a lot of these market pumps. I don't know what you mean. Where I live, we could sell without capital gains tax if we hold for a year. Do you think trading is worth it in my situation? Sorry if I'm a little lost in the question. So basically, if you hold an NFT, and that's the other thing, like I know local governments are treating like NFTs a bit different than like cryptocurrency and things like that. And like, I'm not exactly sure what the US is going to do or what country you're from. So, and plus it sounds like it's a bit more of like, not like legal advice, but not entirely sure. But like, honestly, if you're asking like if you should hold your NFTs, so far it has not steered me wrong. You might not, there's certain points, if you hold for a year, there's certain months where you wish you sold it, and there's certain months where you glad you held it. And it all evens out if actually it's going to end you netting much, much higher. But yeah, I would, you know, you can never go wrong with holding, let's say, especially on Veve. As more people get in the app, more money, more everything. Pavle? I'm gonna keep butchering your name, dude. I'm sorry. Imagine they animated Human Torch, would be dope. Flame on. Flame on! That would be sick. If they added the new one, dude, the secret rare. I could see the secret rare of him. Like, usually the secret rares have 2 animations, right? Like, they did that with Storm, they did that with Invisible Woman. So maybe the Human Torch, he's like in human form. And then when he flames on, like, the Ultra Rare, he'll just flame on, and that's it. Ultra Rare, he'll be human form, you tap it, he'll flame on, and then go back to normal. The secret rare will be like flame on, which is the normal, and then he'll maybe flame on and do like a circle, like as kind of a spin in the air, where he'll fly around and then stand back down. Then usually what they do with those is they'll usually have the common, uncommon, and rare just be kind of like snapshots of those animations that happen in like real time. So we'll see how that plays out, but that would be sick. I would love to see like the Human Torch like do that, and same thing with Mr. Fantastic with him stretching or like wrapping around himself. The Thing, he has to say it's clobbering time. I really hope he does. But he's always in that form. I think that's part of his story, is that he's always in that form. So it's not like he can turn it on and off like the others can. Like, he's stuck in that form. Hi, how much do you expect Batman to be? The new one? The battle statue? Dude, it's hard to say. I would say like 80 gems minimum, I would say, because I do think the black and white ones, weren't they all 80 gems? Let me double check. Gimli. So these are all 80 gems, so it's either going to be 80 and they're just going to keep it the same, which I think is actually unlikely. It might be closer to like 100, 120. No idea. I think everyone's just going to be waiting for the Medium article. And I think you guys have to remember too, like when a drop is announced, not everyone is selling to have just enough for the drop. Like, a lot of people are also selling to be able to play it in the secondary market. So if it's 100 gems or something like that, people aren't just trying to sell off to get 100 gems. They're trying to sell off to get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 gems, because they might want to pick it up in the secondary market as well. MD, hi, at Goat of Goats. Oh, what's up, Goat of Goats? I like that flag. America! Crypto Keeper, 2025 will be here before we know it. Exactly, dude. Like, this last year flew by. Even this month is like flying by. I'm like, really? Is it almost like the end of January? It's crazy how fast time flies. And especially when like a lot of your day is revolving around Veve. You know, you're checking Discord, you're checking the app, you're checking your market listings, you're looking on Twitter for any kind of announcement or kind of any kind of gesture or sign of like what to invest in next or like what to do. So it's a beautiful but like tiring thing. It can't, like, some days it can be tiring. It's like, oh my god, like I just want to sell this NFT, but people keep undercutting me, and it's like pissing me off. You know, it happens. But I'm just excited to be here. So actually, it's just at the top of the hour. Hopefully, ecomi Wiki updated their prices, so I'm kind of curious to see what's on the rise and what is on the rise and what is like not doing well right now. Let me catch up with chat really quick, and like we'll fly through this pretty quick. It's that boy Keo. Yeah, the world is gonna be real deal. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even talk right now. Yeah, the world is gonna be real detailed like NFTs, so just gonna take a while. Yeah, exactly. Invisible Woman FA is also added. Most people don't know. Exactly. Some people forget that. It's that boy Keo. I don't know if I told you this, but I think Cartoon Network characters are slept on. They probably won't make alternative versions like Batman, Spider. Exactly. I do think Adventure Time, it sucks because it's a catch-22. Adventure Time is slept on. Like, they are, I hate to use this term, very undervalued for what they are. But it's unfortunate because anytime any of the Marvel, DC, or like Disney things are pumping, or anything else is like pumping, unfortunately, those are some of the first NFTs people sell. Like, if you looked in your vault, and this is what I do sometimes too when I'm trying to decide between two NFTs to hold long term or whatever it is. It's like, all right, if I needed to sell one off, like which one would I rather sell? You know, it's like if I'm looking at my vault and I have a Spider-Man, a Batman, a couple fins, and some other NFTs and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm gonna sell my fins first. Like, that's just a matter of the fact. Like, and I think that's what's happening now. That's why it's struggling so hard to get up, because I think it's just like battling other IPs like really hard. We really need like either more Cartoon Network drops or more series of the Adventure Time. I don't know if the Adventure Time was just a 2-series thing or if they're gonna add more. Not entirely sure, but or maybe we just need to add more slightly cartoony NFTs. I don't think that's gonna do anything though. But I agree. Like there was a couple points where I thought about stacking fins and Jake the Dogs like really hard, but just the way the price action works, like there is some margin to be had. Like if you're really on the ball about selling it, like they seem to just keep jumping between 150 and 250 a ton, especially Finn. That's like all he's been doing. Let's actually pull him up really quick and then we'll look at the top gainers and top whatever. Like there is margin to be had there, but it just happens so quick. Is it Lucky 9 or 7? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't really think it's that special. It's not even first appearance. Oh, Invisible Woman? No, yeah. Well, like the first Invisible Woman, Marvel Mighties, I don't think she's technically animated. I don't think it's labeled as animated. Even though it kind of is, I don't think in the Veve app it's labeled as one, but I could be wrong. Neva, TSG, Anthony, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, I remember you. I love seeing the same names in chat. Bubbles or Blossom? We'll take a look at that one in a little bit. But something I've noticed, like you can just see it's just been going up and down quite a bit. We'll get a better picture if we like zoom in. Like this, like the overall trend is going up and to the right, very slowly though. But I just feel like I always see him, because there was a point where he was going, yeah, just the other day he was at like 150. Like I'm talking like yesterday. I think this dip doesn't fully reflect the fact that he did go down to 150. I remember actually like pulling it up on my phone and seeing it, and I was like, should I buy a few of these? Like this is really low, but I mean the trend is going up and to the right. It's 7,500 editions, which is pretty low. Same thing with like Jake the Dog. Like it's still crazy to think that like there are these season 1 NFTs that have this low of editions, and it's the second set like ever released on the app, and they're still like sub 300. Sub 250. Like it's crazy to think. Lucky Niner, all Powerpuff Girls are good. Mojo Jojo also. Thoughts on Ultra Rare Captain America Zombie? Let me look up the Powerpuff Girls really quick. So you asked if Bubbles or Blossom. I haven't really looked too closely at the Powerpuff Girls. I would like it again. Like these even have less mints than the other ones, but like just the fact. Bubbles is the really expensive one. That's the 600 one. Maybe you meant Buttercup and Blossom. Those seem to be like closer in price. I assume that's what you mean, right? I think either one is fine. It's just whatever price point. They have about similar amounts listed. So 102, 119. They both had pretty small pumps, but let's see. That's on Captain America. Would have been nice to get her at 300. Now she's double that price now. Or she actually peaked at 555. It's hard to say just because like I've said this before, the Veve community and just the app in general, they put so much value on Disney, Marvel, DC. Like those are, people put so much attention and focus on them. Spider-Man, Batman, all that stuff. I will say the Cartoon Network ones are getting slept on, and it could be one of those things where they actually might do better off app. I do think pretty much anything that's like non-DC, Marvel, and Disney will actually do, like, some of them might do better off app because like maybe no one on the app, you know, that's kind of the other thing too, is like the Veve community, it's a bit of an echo chamber. It's a great echo chamber. People are positive and all that stuff, but at the same time it's like people really aren't looking like the Cartoon Network stuff. But like if you put Buttercup on Immutable X or some of this like off-platform stuff, yeah, it's $450 on the app, but like it could sell for 1,200, 1,500 ETH, 2,000 ETH, like off-platform, like, because again, it's still, at the end of the day, it's still a 3D NFT. It's officially licensed. It's Buttercup. People remember Powerpuff Girls when they were kids. Like people remember this stuff. So that's just kind of my take on it. I do think like the community overall is sleeping on Cartoon Network and like just the amount of like mints and like the relevance of it. You just need to convince a lot of people to like invest in it. That's just kind of how it is right now. That's okay. I know when you meant Buttercup. Would you mind showing your collection on stream, or maybe a nice vault you have? Would also understand it was private for you. That maybe for now keep it private. Plus, like, trying to like build up my way to a Todd. I'm like getting up to that point. Like, if I could sell these handful of NFTs that I have, I can get very, very, very close to a Todd. And I do have some other NFTs like I could sell. I'd rather not, but I'm totally down to do it for the most part. So. And then what was the other question? Someone asked about zombie. Okay, Captain America. I'll just type in zombie. There's not that many zombie. Ultra rare zombie Captain America. I mean, for 550 ultra rare, 3,800 editions. The whole zombie thing does hurt it. I think there was a huge stigma before even I got on the app about the What If series and like the Zombie Hunter Captain America, and like the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man and stuff like that. I don't think these two are tied in any way. It's not like, oh, one of the Spider-Man's pumps, I do think like this Spider-Man will pump. I don't think like the What If series NFTs are like tied together. So it's not like, oh, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man 2 is, the ultra rare is pumping. Let me look at the zombie ultra rare version. So, I mean, they have the same mints. Right now, it just seems like it's peaking pretty hard. Like, I don't know what you mean about it. I mean, I like it, but like to buy it right now, again, I do think this is one of those NFTs that like, if you have a Zombie Captain America Ultra Rare alongside other Marvel NFTs, this is probably one of the first ones you would sell, right? If you're trying to liquidate to afford the next drop or afford a big IP that's being announced. And I think a lot of people treat it that way too. So I like it, but I'm not sure how many gems you have, what your collection looks like, or anything like that. So, but who knows? This thing could just fucking skyrocket to 850 tomorrow. Like, what the hell do I know? Like, things are unpredictable. Like, we can look at graphs and charts. Like, it's dipping right now. People are trying to take profits while they can. And you have to remember too. Like, there's a lot of people here that have been holding since sub 300. People have bought a lot of these at sub 300, and at any point they can just pull the trigger and just dump it. Right? Big IP announces, listings go up to 250. The price of Zombie Captain America goes down to 350, you know, 300, whatever it is. So I do think this is one that could dip really hard if there is like a big IP announced, or a big series drop or whatever it is, if it happens like in the near future. So maybe not now, maybe later, in my personal opinion. Neva TS Anthony, yeah, Buttercup, my bad. I got what you meant. Harmoon, people sell their Adventure Time for flips. I believe that day one day all season one will surge. Yep, there was that basically that season one pump that happened a while back, right? Like the FA pump that happened around like Wonder Woman and all the other NFTs, like that kind of like merged into a season one pump. Like that's what I thought of. I'm like, all these FAs are pumping, and I'm like, wait. When that happened, when I saw all the FAs pumping, I'm like, wait, a lot of the FAs are, of course, in season one. I'm like, people might start looking at the season one stuff. And right then, I thought about Ben Reilly. I'm really, really upset. I did not buy more Ben Reillys because I bought 2. when he was at like 130, 170, like something in that range. I don't remember. It seems like forever ago, but it wasn't. And I bought a couple of them, and I remember telling people to buy Ben Riley. But I, again, just try to take profits instead of just holding, and look at it now. So yeah, I have no Ben Rileys left. So I sold them both, I think around 350 and 450. And then it went up to 800 and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So. Oh, like all the day one, season one will surge to 1K. I agree. Yeah, MD, I think that's a bit low. Eventually all the NFTs are gonna hit 1K at some point, I think. Maybe not like the Cryptkins and stuff, who the hell knows? But at the same time, maybe the season one Cryptkins, but the others maybe not so much. Red Ghost says, just bought animated uncommon Groot, like you said. Gail today told it to. Like Marvel Mighties in a few days can even double already. Up $10. Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Marvel Mighties, I know Cody Thrive talked a bit about like, oh, they're gonna make a video game. They already have kind of one with Marvel Mighties, like in the Veveverse. Again, like I don't really like buying NFTs, banking on the fact that like this could have some sort of crazy integration or whatever is going to happen in the Veveverse, right? Like in my honest opinion, as much as I hate to say it, when the Veveverse comes out, it's going to be a slightly glorified version of like VR chat. Like VR chat, you can have different avatars and stuff like that. There's a couple mini games you can play, but like nothing crazy or extreme. Like in mini games, I'm talking like simple things like, I'm not talking like tic-tac-toe or like chess or something like that, but like, you know, some pretty like basic low level like mini games and stuff you could do with friends and stuff maybe. And but yeah, like, but the fact is like there could be so much bearish news about it, like, oh, Veveverse releases, people are like, I thought it was gonna have all this crazy integration and blah blah. It's like, oh, it's gonna take them another year to make the Marvel Mighties game, like, oh, it's gonna take so long, and like, who knows? But like, I mean, Marvel Mighties are going up, but I'd say don't buy it because you think it's going to be a Veveverse thing. In my personal opinion, I try not to revolve too much of my choices around the Veveverse, except for real estate. I'm very bullish on that, but it's not like I'm going to buy 1,000 hoverboards because I think you can fly them around, right? I think leveraging just like big name IPs and what people are going to buy next, and being able to stack not low level, but like inexpensive NFTs, because there's a lot of new people coming in that don't have 10,000 gems. They might be coming in with 200. Being able to stack some of the cheaper stuff is like the better way to go, at least in the shortish medium term. But that's also why I have a plan with like long-term hodls with blue chip NFTs. Sorry if I tend to go on rants, by the way. Like sometimes I just take a thought and I just run with it, which is why I think I make some good calls, but I also like just get too much in my head, and then sometimes I make a mistake. So yes, for sure, long term, yes. Neva, TSG, Anthony, thank you. You definitely have the best response to chat. Love it here. LMAO, thanks. I try to keep up with chat as much as possible. This isn't like my first time streaming ever. Like I do have some experience. I know some people that have infinitely more active chats than me. They tend to fall behind. And like there's times where I ask a question, and then I legitimately have to wait 35 minutes for it to get answered in chat or by the content creator, right? Just because there's so many questions, and like some questions are very nuanced. Like some of the questions do take a few minutes to answer, so it's not always just like, oh, you have 10,000 gems? Oh yeah, just buy Steamboat Willie. Anyway, next question, like I want to ask like, all right, how many gems do you have? Are you looking to stack? Are you trying to get one big NFT? Do you want to hold long term? Are you trying to flip? Like what are you trying to do? Like there's I want to make sure I give you the right advice. MD, I agree. Very enjoyable to watch you. Also nice to see some data while you talk. Yeah. If you guys have any ones that you guys want me to like pull up, which by the way, I know I said this literally 16 minutes ago. But we'll go ahead and look at the top gainers really quick. Goat of Goats, I meant I own it all. I meant I own it. Should I sell it? Let me look back up in the chat what you meant. Oh, thoughts on Ultra Rare Captain America Zombie? We still have the graph pulled up here. I mean, it did get up to 700 at one point. Again, don't just sell to sell. Make sure you're going to something else. Don't just sell because you want to liquidate it. Make sure you see a different opportunity first. Like do the math, and you can see like what's something good for 550. I don't know. Like, if you see another NFT that you want instead, or if you see an opportunity like, all right, if I sell this, I can stack 10 of these other NFTs that I think are going to do better, then do that. So don't just sell it because you want the gem, sell it because you want to go to something else, potentially. That's my opinion. Or if you do want to stack some gems, like I want to have enough gems to play the secondary market on like the Batman drop that's coming up, like that's fine. But don't just sell it to have gems and it just sits in your wallet for weeks and you just don't do anything with it. That's what I would say. It's like, make sure you're going to something if you're going to sell it. But is it a sell point right now? I would hold. I would hold. If someone is like looking to buy into it, I would say no. But if you're looking to, like, if you already have it, I would say hold, because I do think it can go back up. Coffee shots, yes, it's a chill vibe. Yeah, I know sometimes I get passionate, or I just like really get into an idea. Like I try to be chill, but like when I talk about NFTs and the graphs and like just talking to you guys, it's awesome because like I was asking all these exact same questions not too long ago, and I'm like not the best market guru guy or anything by any means. Like there are probably people out there better than me at that kind of analytics and stuff, but I feel like I've done pretty well for myself. Neva asks, I went and scooped up a no tech hoverboard for 85 today. Floor is at 95 and there's a huge 100 gem wall. That is fine. Just hodl. Those walls go down quick. You'll be surprised because a lot of the time, and I've done this before, where if let's say the no tech hoverboards, let's say, and the reason why there's a huge wall is because like people own multiples of them, right? They're stacking or whatever. Like let's say I owned like 5 no tech hoverboards. What I usually do is I put one at 100, like at some point somewhere in that wall, and if I see it sell like on the market, I'm like, okay, like the wall's getting eaten away at, right? And sometimes people will actually delist their listings at 100 because they feel like it's going to run to like 120, 130, whatever. And they might delist them, so now that wall shrinks because people are delisting because they think they want to get more for it. I do think the majority of the people are there just to like get the gems and just like be done and just take the profit. But there are some people that will like delist it, making that wall smaller. So like I wouldn't give up. And like that's actually a really good price. That's probably one of the few hoverboards that's like under 100 gems, right? Hover. There's not many under 100. I think that's legitimately the only one, and that's, in my opinion, that's one of the cooler looking ones. I do like this one. Like I like this more than the question mark one, like at least like aesthetically. Of course, Marty's is very iconic. I would say it looks pretty much on par with like the Rising Sun hoverboard, but I think I like the aesthetic of the no tech a bit more. Pitbull is just super cool as well, but I think no tech hoverboard was a good call. I used to flip hoverboards every once in a while. I remember buying the Pitbull one for like low 300, then like flipping it for like high 300, mid 300, like making 20 to 30 gems here and there, like on and off. Like that was always kind of a fun time. Coffee Shot says, what's your opinions on Star Trek stuff, like the Borg cube? I love Star Trek. I don't know if you guys know this. I've watched all the Star Trek series except for the original series. It's a little bit too cringy for me, but I've watched Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, Enterprise. The only one I actually haven't seen technically, 2 of them, is Picard and the original series. And I've watched the majority of, gosh, what's the new one? Star Trek Discovery. Not a huge fan of that one. I like the original, the old school ones more, I guess you could say. I do think there's like a lot of Star Trek fans out there, not nearly as many as Star Wars, obviously. Star Trek. If you were to like really invest in Star Trek, like I know the Borg cubes are a bit cheaper. I would try and get like the Enterprise ones because like every Star Trek fan wants an Enterprise. Some people, some Trekkies may or may not like the Borg cube and stuff like that. I forgot also like which USS Enterprise D. I'm trying to remember which one that is. That's not like next. I think that's Next Generation, right? Because there's technically been like multiple Enterprises. Yeah, so under the command of Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah. Okay, so it is like the Next Generation, which is my favorite by far and away. Deep Space Nine is like a very close second. I really like Deep Space Nine. I thought it would be boring as hell. I'm like, it takes place in one station. Like, they don't go out and do adventures. They do some adventures and stuff occasionally, but it's nice because the station is actually right next to like a wormhole, and people come in. So it's not like they're going to adventures or different planets. Like, the adventure is coming to them. So a lot of the time they deal with travelers, they deal with war and different races and political intrigue and backstabbing. Like, in a weird way, it was kind of like the Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. Like, not as in depth, but there was some like political espionage and stuff like that going on between like the Federation and the different groups that were involved. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I kind of want to watch Deep Space Nine again. But what's my opinion on it? I would try to get like, I think it's the same. It's like the exact same thing as Cartoon Network. It's a good franchise. Like, people will invest a lot into it, but it's just so getting overshadowed by like Disney, Marvel, and Disney, Marvel, DC. Jesus, like those are like the big three. Even though like Disney, Marvel might as well be the same. It's like under the same umbrella. I think these will have great return on investments, but these are definitely like medium to longer term holds. So if you find yourself like not going to be too active on the app over like the next like few months, and you're only going to play drops, you're not looking to flip, like, and you're trying to get a good ROI, and you love Star Trek, like, this is a good thing. I thought about getting one for my dad because my dad was like initially the one that got me into Star Trek. So I was thought about getting him like an Enterprise as well as like a board cube and all that stuff. So other than that, I just think other NFTs would do better in those price ranges. I do like it. Like, I like it. I just think others would do better in the short term, but these will give you great ROI. It's just going to take you a while. Star Trek MD, do you have a normal job? I'm freelancing as a 3D animator. Dude, that's awesome. I might have to hit you up for some stuff. We'll see. But no, for me, I'm freelancing too as well. I mean, I work as just like as an independent contractor, making money here and there while I can. I've been doing that for a few years now, and I've been kind of juggling between like, all right, do I want to work a formal job? Because I hate working formal jobs. I used to do cold calling sales for like 6-7 years, and it like just took the soul out of me. I hated twisting people's arms for business and stuff like that. Like, try to convince them to spend money on an ad, whether it's virtually or physically, and like do this and that. It's like, but I'm in the mindset of like, if you don't want to do it, like, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to twist your arm. Like, I'm definitely more of an advisor, which is why I feel like I do so well at this. It's like, I'd rather help people that are interested in expanding or trying to understand a certain topic, or like they want advice on something. Like, people, you guys are coming to me for advice. I want to be able to just bestow my knowledge and like the things I've done well on, the things I've fucked up on, and kind of give you that information so you guys don't repeat the same mistakes and you guys can make money. Because we're all here to make money and enjoy ourselves and be part of the community. But which is why I liked Veve a lot. Like, whenever I really get interested into something, I completely immerse myself into it to like almost an unhealthy degree. Like, when I heard about Veve, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Then once I found out like what was it about and like the NFTs and like how much money you can get, like the next few days, I like over the next like month, I literally watch hundreds of videos on it, just trying to understand it. What are the best things to do, and watch different content creators and stuff. So I'm kind of all in on Veve. Like, I actually gave Randy Chavez, which I'll actually show you guys here, if you guys don't mind. I actually gave Randy Chavez, if you guys don't know who he is, you guys definitely should, but he's a big pillar of the community. Omi millionaire, awesome guy, streams like 3 times a day. I gave him 17 alligator Loki commons so I could be advertised on his wall. He usually has a fridge, but I'm the first one on his wall because he was running out of space. And so he, yeah, it was pretty cool. Give me a sec here. Actually, I need to reduce this. I need to make space. Sorry if this looks a bit funky for a sec. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull this up. Come on. Let me pull it up. So I'm just stoked to have this, dude, because like I've watched Randy Chavez for like a long time, And I'm just like happy to have an opportunity to like be out as community stuff. That is not right. That is not right. Let's go back to here. Where can I find this? Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. It's not finding it, but we'll just do it this way. Screw it. Cool. Let's do it this way. I made this the other day. Let me pause the music so you guys can hear it.
And Veve vibes on the YouTube. Totally him. Veve's his first appearance wall investor, actually.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked him out, he's an awesome content creator. I just threw that together. It was actually, it took over the span of like a longer period of time. But yeah, it's like, he's an awesome guy. He's helped me out so much. Like he's given me like a lot of advice, just like watching him. Like I wasn't too active in his chat like before, but yeah. So like now I'm up on his board for like the next year or something like that. So I invested a lot to like do this. And so I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, like I need to kind of like also like financially force myself to like be dedicated to this for like the next year at least. So yeah, I'm just stoked to like be on this wall and stuff. And that's kind of where I made the joke like FA wall investor, because that's the first time I was on, like no one's been on the wall before because he ran out of room on the fridge, so he put my name in like big letters, which is fun. So let me see here. But yeah, like that's what I'm been doing. I'm just independent contractor, all that stuff, dealing with all the blessings and issues that brings. So I'm gonna get through these because I just legitimately went on like a 5-minute rant. Hamoon, my number one rule, not selling when market is dipping. That is true. They're like, I know in my most recent video, some people are like, why are you telling people to sell or like undercut and blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just saying that's an option. All I wanted to do was just give thoughts and options that you could do during a dip. And like, if you genuinely, I don't know why I'm burping so much. If you genuinely feel like the dip is just going to be extremely steep and it's going to keep going, then like that is a legitimate tactic. Like, I mean, if you look at Steamboat Willie, like the commons, that's not called Steamboat Willie, but it's called, I'll type in Mickey. It should pull up. Like there was a period of time where like the jaunty jig was up to 1400 and it went all the way down to like 900. So like there is margin there. Like it's extremely risky, but if you are good at it, like you could technically sell it at like, you're never going to get it at the top, but if you're good at timing it, you could have sold it around here. Let's just say like 1.2, and then you buy it down here. It actually did go down to 9. I saw it on the market. Like that is a good margin. Like you actually just bought it back and you made like 150, 200 gems or so. Like you can do that. That is a legitimate thing. But like, again, it's extremely risky because now it's rebounding back up. And you might have just like lost gems because of that 8.5% fee. So it can get a bit dangerous doing that, but that's why I've mentioned in my video multiple times, like it's risky and it's great. Like you have to time it extremely well, but in my opinion, it's just not worth it. But I wanted to give it as an option. Redgo says, what do you think about SR Deadpool and his price in short and long term from now? I think he is cooler than Cap in America. He is FA and one of the coolest heroes. Also has Christmas stuff on him as gold. Yeah, I did say like some people didn't like the, let's say, is my mic too high? Okay. Some people didn't like the Christmas stuff on him. I can see that, but if like any superhero or technically anti-hero can pull it off, like it's Deadpool. Like it's not many of the other like Marvel superheroes could like pull that off, right? So Deadpool would be able to pull that off. He's been extremely popular since, you know, obviously the movies and all that stuff. And Ryan Reynolds playing him, like he's hilarious. I also noticed that a lot of people that like Deadpool like Rick and Morty, and a lot of Rick and Morty fans like Deadpool. I don't know if it's because a lot of it has to do with like, especially Rick and Morty fans that are like, oh, clearly you're not as intellectually smart to like understand these inside jokes and stuff. Like that's what I've noticed. Like a lot of people, like those two communities seem to be like really tied together, and like it's strange. Like I like Rick and Morty, but I don't like the fans, strangely enough. I think I remember seeing that meme on Reddit at one point. Someone posted like, I love Rick and Morty, but I hate their fans. I think hate is obviously a strong word, but they're just saying like they just don't like hanging out with people that are like obsessively, like obsessive watchers of like Rick and Morty that like love it way too much. But Deadpool, I think he's great. I think he caught a lot of people off guard. The main thing that's going to hinge him pumping a second time really hard is whether you can remove cosmetics and all that stuff, which I think you will at some point in the future. I do think a lot of people slept on him because he has all that festive stuff on him, but at some point in the next couple of years, 6 months, who knows, being able to remove the cosmetics is a big deal. And I do think he's more popular than Storm. He's more popular than actually most of the superheroes, except for Spider-Man, that are on Marvel right now, in my opinion. So yeah, I think so too. Like, you can't go wrong investing investing in any of the superheroes at this point is not going to steer you wrong if you're planning on holding for like the next 6 months, even like the next like 2 months. Like, it's not going to steer you wrong. Neva TSG Anthony, I went and got a DeLorean as well for 140, but the price is all over the place. I felt like it was a great buy 2 days ago. They bought it for 140 and it's probably down a bit. Yeah. Again, like, there's so many DeLoreans, just in general, 50,000 of them. That's why I'm kind of more in favor of the Ecto one. I showed this earlier, so I apologize if you guys are what the heck? That's why I'm a little bit more in favor of the Ecto one, because it has like a fifth of the mints. It's like the exact same price. DeLorean and like the Ecto one and stuff, it's gonna get more bullish if there's more announcements to the Veveverse. If there's announcements to the Veveverse, imagine Marvel Mighties will go up a bit. All the vehicles will go up a bit. Hoverboards will go up a bit. Like, anything that's kind of like interactive, or that things that would be cool or fun to fly around, or that you could like treat as like an object, I guess, like in the Veveverse, like, will go up in price. So I do think like the Ecto 1 and like the DeLorean do kind of hinge on the fact of like how soon and what kind of announcements are happening around the Veveverse. Like, that's just me personally. Or if we release another vehicle, if there's another vehicle released, I've noticed something that like whenever a similar item or like IP is released, typically people will go back to the originals or just adjacent variations of it. And typically, sometimes those will actually go up too. So if there's like another vehicle, let's say they announced Jurassic Park, and one of my Win Wednesday videos that I did a while back, I kind of stopped doing Win Wednesday videos because not that like they weren't doing well, but I would essentially like go over a format of like how Veve would approach this IP and they would release it. I do think they would do like the Jurassic Park Jeeps. I think that's a pretty iconic vehicle, whether you're talking like the like yellow and green, like the two-tone like Jeep, or you're talking about like the gray and the like red, like open hood Jeep. Like, if more vehicles get released, I could see these two like going up in price just reactively. It's that boy Q. Can you look up New Mutants? Sure. That's the one. That's the one that. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. I have to go to All Comics here for a second. I also got to refresh this. That's one thing I kind of don't like, is like, I'm trying not to. I'm sure you guys could probably find out like all that information, but like each time I refresh it, I have to hide like my email as well as my vault value is like way off anyway, but I would like rather like not show it. But let's go ahead, New Mutants. But who was it? It was I forgot who it was, but people were like making a meme of the New Mutants, right? New Mutants 98. Is that it? Which one am I looking at? The common? I don't know too much about comic books, to be honest. Like, I could probably apply like the same, like the number crunchiness of like the comics, but like comics are just across the board, except for like the extremely top tier ones. Like, it just seems to be slow and steady, then it bumps up a bit, slow and steady, bumps up a bit. But obviously there was the comic craze that happened not too long ago. Like, geez, 23 gems all the way up to 64. That is nuts. Let me see here. Let's take a closer look. I don't know why it's not updating and saying like it's basically skyrocketing, but take a look at the last few days if we can. Oof. I think my thing is lagging. Yeah, I mean, we could look at the chart as is right now. Yeah, like, I just don't know what else to say. If, like, it's pumping right now. It's doing well. Like, people are trying to take profits here and there occasionally, but it seems like it's kind of gone down a bit. Like, it's so hard to, like, apply the same logic to collectibles and comics. Like, they're very similar, but they're also very different as well. Like, I think comics are just going to be a slow and steady increase, and like they'll have a pump like this. It'll probably sell off, especially like comics are one of the first things people do sell off when there is a new IP or a new sale going on. Like, I'll be honest, I've done that too, where I'm like selling off all, like, a lot of my comics to get myself an extra couple hundred gems or whatever it is. Like, I've done that before. So, but if it's something like New Mutants, which is the first appearance of Deadpool, it could be pretty good. I think this is probably, I believe, Veve rank. If you guys haven't checked out Veve rank, let's see here. It's veverank.com. Yeah, check that out if you haven't. Like, that just gives you like a tier listing of pretty much all the comics that's on Veve right now. It's like which ones are the most valuable, arguably, based on like their real world equivalent. All right, let's go back here. But let's go back. Sorry, I'm like really behind on chat. I know you aren't too big on comics, but do you have any faith in this week's commons? In this week's commons? I'm not sure. I haven't won any of the commons, to be honest. I paid very little to no attention to these comics. Like, I know it has Craven in it. I think that's his name. But I haven't really paid close attention to him at all. Like, or close attention to like the comics like at all. Not because I hate them or anything like that. It's like I hardly win the drops. I don't really invest in them too much. I probably should diversify and like try to understand the comics a bit more, but it's a bit more of like a nuanced thing. And there's a kind of a small niche community, not even niche, but just a smaller community with comics. So I suggest like sleeping in comics and crypto, and there's like a couple other people too that I'm probably forgetting for the most part, but just got an alert of Secure Wallet app dropping on the App Store in 48 hours. That's cool. Robert Desmond Warner, all black and white, had diff pricing. And it was in blind box. Yeah, I think it was a single box thing. And at least from what I saw, it seemed like most of the black and white series were 80 gems, but it wouldn't surprise me if some were like cheaper as well. It's that boy Kyo. Oh yeah, I peeped you on the wall today. Yes, I'm sure you could have used a better word than peeped, but to each their own. So over there lurking, I can imagine you like, what does that say on that wall behind you? Yeah, I think it's great. I love Randy, and I try to hang out in his chat. Definitely more recently, I've been hanging out in his chat and like shooting the shit and giving advice to other people or trying to make him laugh. I would love to get some more content creators doing a collaborative streams where we either talk about the market or just different things in general. Like, I think that's kind of where some of my sales skills come into play, where I feel like I'm pretty good at basically like building rapport with people, finding something they like, asking pretty interesting and compelling questions that not a lot of people ask. So I still have to make a video on questions I would like asked in the next AMA for like Veve and stuff. So I would love to ask like, how are rebounds going to work if we go into the new queue system? Is there going to be the ability to have buy orders? Like, could I, like right now, specimen number 04, like like that's the other thing too. Like, it's very hard to find the floor of a lot of these NFTs because there's no buy orders, right? So like, maybe I don't have 1,000 gems, but if I put up a buy order for 850, maybe someone will take that because maybe they're tired of doing the whole undercutting thing, or maybe they just want their gems right now and they're trying to have enough gems for the next drop or try to afford something else immediately. That stuff does happen. And plus, it allows people to actually start margin trading because if I buy it for 850, now the floor is at least 1,030, so I'll just relist it and I can make some money that way. And plus, that's going to burn more VV, so. Or burn more VV, burn more OMI. Nerd Shaman, yo, first time on your live, but I watch your stuff a lot. Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. What I'm kind of curious, like, what you guys want more of. Like, I could do more market analysis stuff. I personally like streaming a bit more because I can actually feed off your guys' like interactions. You guys tell me what to look up, so I know I'm like heading in the right direction for like what to give you guys. But yeah, like I would love to do more of like the One Wednesday stuff, but it just takes up so much time. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Like the Jurassic Park one was fun. I did the Ninja Turtle one was fun too. I actually did a let me see if I can find it. Is this right? Let me see here. Sorry if this is like very bright, but shoot. Oh well. Even with two screens, I feel like I can't do all, I feel like I still can't do all of this. Reduce, reduce, reduce. Here we go. Is the stream lagging at all, or did I disconnect at all? Sorry if I got disconnected and I just got back. Video capture. Is this it? That is not it. Give me a sec here, guys. Sorry. All right. This is what happens when you try to stream on like an 8-year-old computer. Like, just things are just like not cooperating, and especially like I will admit the ecomi.wiki site like does seem to be very hungry on my like CPU and stuff. Like, is it lagging a lot? Yeah. Is it still lagging? Should be better now. There we go. Should make a Discord. I've thought about it. I don't know. Like, after I've seen things that happen on like VV Vault, VV Vision, potential scammers trying to like deal with like trolls and all that stuff. Like, I want to make a Discord and like build a community. Like, that'd be awesome. But like, it just seems like a lot of upkeep for me, to me personally. Like, does this work? I know this is gonna look like really terrible, so I apologize, but like for some reason OBS is not recognizing this like as a window. So I gotta do it this way. There. So I remember actually doing this for my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. We'll actually zoom in here a bit. Like I remember making this on my When Wednesday video where it's like, it legitimately looks like a drop thing and like you wouldn't know. So like, we'll go ahead and pull up this one. So like this would be the, home page. So this is what the home page would look like for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then this would be what the like actual buy page looks like. And so as you scroll down, I had like Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo, like Donatello, all as commons, Splinter as like rare, and then I had like the ultra rare B Shredder. I've noticed that like Veve typically does that. Like they'll have the main bad guy be like the secret rare or the ultra rare. They've done it with like Red Skull. They've done it with Dr. Doom. I think they've done it with another villain as well. But black screen on the background. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me, but it's just black screen? I'm just gonna restart the stream. Now it's okay? Okay, good. I was about to restart the stream. I'm like, what? So, but can you guys see? But like, anyway, this is what I did. I thought it was pretty cool. Whatever. We'll go back to fielding questions. If I could turn this off. Let's make this full screen again so we can see a bit better. All right. There were some questions I missed earlier, so I'll try and scroll back up. Brandon Soto, I'm gonna catch up with chat, guys. Brandon Soto, I found you from Randy's videos. Great content, man. Your alligators were definitely worth it. They were, dude. I was debating on how much, because I have a pretty decent vault. It's nothing insane, and like I don't honestly make a ton of money. Like I pretty much almost my entire net worth is like tied up in Veve right now, and I was like, you know, if I'm gonna go hard on this, like I might as well go all out. Like I'm gonna invest into myself, but also like probably the most consistent content creator and the person that's even more invested in Veve and Omi than I am. Plus he just streams super consistently and like every hour. I think getting a call out is pretty awesome. And it's nice. It seems like it's working already. Like I remember getting a bunch of followers and people subbing me on YouTube. So it seems like it's working out great. It was a bit of a, like I invested basically like 1,700 gems to like get on his wall for a year, but I think that's gonna pay off infinitely more in the future. So I'm excited to do that. And I would love to have him on the stream at some point. Probably have him on for half an hour or something like that. I know he's a busy guy, so. Neva, do you think all versions of the DeLorean will be drivable or just the ultra rare and common one basically? I'm not sure. Not entirely sure. Like that's one thing I'm a little concerned about, is because if Veve starts adding interactive things or just starts changing things on some of these NFTs, because people bought them and valued them as they are now, and if all of a sudden the rare version of the Ecto 1 and the DeLorean is just interactive because it was static, there's a lot of people that didn't buy it because it was static. And so like if they're basically just changing innately what the NFT is, it's like, are you kind of allowed to do that? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it'll keep the same name, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it is drivable, but like how would you get in a car if you can't interact with it and like open the doors or do anything? Like who knows? I'm not exactly sure. That's all Veveverse stuff, so not entirely sure. Hammond, after the Citron drop, all cars will double, if not more in prices. I think so too. That is actually a very good call, Hammond, because, you know, even though that's like the first real life vehicle, people are probably gonna look at the other vehicles to buy some, in my personal opinion. So that's actually a very good call. Whenever that drop happens. And I'm not sure they ever announced it. I know they said that they did say that the Labyrinth IP would be announced at some point in Q1, so that could be coming up pretty soon. But at least for the Citron, like, who knows when that's gonna happen. Robert Desmond Warner says, just like a Bitcoin pizza story, I have a story too. I saved 35 gems buying Crouching Batman instead of Todd back in the day. Back in the day when they were available on the app before I sold out. Nice, dude. You got the Joe Moderia, whatever Batman. That's a good call, dude. Good job. Gary V, yeah, that's the one that people were memeing on. He was grabbing like all these different things, like this is going to be on the blockchain, this is going to be on the blockchain, and like there's literally the New Mutants comic, I think it was a 9.6, like right behind him. And it's like, this is already on Veve, so a little late on that. MD, how can you hate Todd at Robert Desmond Warner, like aesthetically? Someone... Nah, I think that's just what he could afford. It seemed like maybe he wasn't able to buy Todd or something like that. What do you think? What do you think Todd will be worth after 6 months? I think that's what you mean, month, not March. With the new movie of Batman, what's your thoughts about his price? Also with the Immutable X at this time, it's hard to say. Like I'm not even sure if the big IPs are going to be on Immutable X immediately, but I mean, just allowing people to basically do all the exchanges and stuff. I'm not too sure. I think we'll see like a temporary pump from like the Batman movie, but I don't think it's going to be similar to Spider-Man. Like the pump is going to happen like weeks prior to when the movie actually comes out, and then it's going to like by the time the movie comes out or like a few days before, like the pump is going to be done because the hype was already there. So that's just my personal opinion. Like there's going to be a small pump, but it's not like Todd's going to double in price because there's a movie coming out about him. Coffee shots. I had that comic and I sold it off at 30 to get gems, and it pumps today. Of course, dude. I think I sold it a week ago or something like that to have enough for a different drop or something. Elmatic's word. I peeped you too in that Zombie Hunter Spidey listing. Oh yeah, you peeping on me. Is that gonna be a thing now? Like people peeping on me, peeping on Veve vibes. Man, y'all be peeping. I see people following me on Twitter. I like this. Okay, close that, close that. Coffee shots, thoughts on Dragon Girl. I used to be very bullish on Dragon Girl, and in some ways I still am. I remember buying her up when she was like 120, like low hundreds, and I think I sold her when she was close to 200. So she's done pretty well right now. Personally, I do like the common and the uncommon more because it actually shows off the artwork. It's a bit more colorful. It's not like I'm expecting them to like outprice the rare or anything like that. I still think these are of course always going to be the most expensive. But I think like the best bang for your buck, it's like, all right, do you want to buy 4 common Dragon Girls or do you want to buy 1 rare? I think that's going to be like the real question. Like if you're really into Dragon Girls, it's like, do you stack the inexpensive ones, or do you want to get 1 rare or one of the ultra rare? There's an ultra rare, right? Yeah, the ultra rare. Or this, wow, secret rare is actually okay, because I remember those were like 2 different releases, the silver and gold as well as like the gold, all gold. Kind of funny that the ultra rare is like less mints than the secret rare, but I think those were separated or like released separately. I mean, I like the Dragon Girls. I think they'll do like amazing off-platform, in my personal opinion, but it's hard to say. So we're looking at the common right now. Yeah, so like, I remember she peaked at like almost 400, and then immediately people were taking profits. And that's kind of the theme of the app, is like anything that's not DC, like Marvel or Disney related, like if any of those things pump, or like if there's any kind of movement happening there, like significant movement, people always sell off anything that's not those IPs to get it. Typically. I could be wrong, but I do like Dragon Girl. I used to have, I think there's a point where I had like 3 of the uncommons and like 5 of the commons, and I was stacking them and I would sell them and like dollar cost average up. Still somewhat bullish. I'm not entirely sure. Like part of me is still trying to assess like what I want to do with my vault, whether I want to invest in like more independent artists or some of the smaller IPs like this to like sell on Immutable X. I'm not entirely sure. MD, do you see the Sleep in Comics tier list? Maybe that's the one you posted. I was so confused that he ranked Daredevil higher than Fantastic Four number 5, for example. Any thoughts on that? That is beyond out of my league. Do you have a top 10 comic tier list? I do not, dude. I'm not familiar at all with like comic tier lists and which one will sell well. I haven't paid too close to attention. It could be just because I'm like really bitter that I like never win comics, and I'm like, you know what, just fuck this. Like I don't win comics. Like why even bother? Like why even bother investing? But there's still a lot of NFTs I look at that I haven't invested in or that I thought were good buys prior that I missed out on. So all I know is like the big three, like Fantastic Four number 1, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, Marvel Comics number 1, or whatever iterations are like the top 3. I know there's more good ones, but I'm sure he has a legitimate reason why the Daredevil one is higher than Fantastic Four number 5. Not entirely sure, but it'd be a good question to ask on one of his like newer YouTube videos that he posts. Either one recently or wait till he posts another one and then you can ask him there. Thoughts on Dragon Girl? Okay, stream is lagging for me. Yeah, that's when we had all that stream. You should make a Discord. Yeah, I think I already talked about that. Like, it would depend. Like, I really don't want to play, because I've done it before with a different community, and I've had to figure out what people are doing and make sure that I get rid of the trolls and like, oh my god, this guy's being toxic, can you handle him? And like, I don't want to deal with a lot of that. Like, and I'm not expecting a lot of people in the VV community to be like that. But I don't want to have to deal with scams and stuff, and like I don't know, people pretending to be me. Like I said before, like all the stuff that happened with VV Vault. And I think VV Vision 2, I don't think there was like any drama or anything that happened in there, but I don't know, like if I were to do a Discord, I want to be available and active in it, and yeah, potentially we'll have to see. It's okay now, cool. That's so cool. Can we buy those somewhere, or is it just Photoshop? Oh no, it's just I just photoshopped that. Looks awesome. What is your favorite collectible? Just regarding looks. Just regarding looks. I would strangely enough, like I really like the Dragon Girls. I don't know. It's not because of its like lewd nature or anything like that, but I just like the art on it. Like it just looks super cool. I really like. Give me 1 second here. See if I can find it. I really like the number 89 Batman Who Laughs. Like, if you guys know the story of Batman Who Laughs, it's actually pretty crazy, and it's an amazing story, and it's probably one of the strongest and most unique villains that like DC's introduced in like the last like probably decade or something like that. I like it a lot. I'm not like huge into comics. Like, it's funny, like all the comic information I know is because I watch a YouTuber called Comics Explained. That's literally what it's just called, Comics Explained. And this guy who's really funny, great voice for YouTube. All he does is just read comics. He kind of gives you like a synopsis or like an overall story of what happened. He has a whole thing about the Secret Wars. He has a whole thing about the first appearance of this character and that character. Things like talking about the one above all and like the Marquis of Death and like these like super multiversal intergalactic like super powerful beings and like the Marvel and DC and all that stuff. So he'll have videos where he goes really in depth with like certain comic book heroes, like abilities and villains and stuff, like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all that stuff. So I like that. So I like Batman Who Laughs. I like Dragon Girl. My favorite golden moment is Iron Man. My favorite Marvel superhero, like look. I'm trying to think. I like the Ben Reilly's. Just the look. I don't know why. Like I know it's not the classic Spider-Man, but I just love the aesthetic of the way that they're like laid out. Like I've always liked the concept of just like Spider-Man doing these like really ridiculous like acrobatic things. Kind of reminds me of like Marvel versus Capcom, where he's like jumping around and doing all this like really crazy stuff. So like when he's like flipping upside down like that and like doing a kick, like that's super cool. Same thing with like this position that he's in for like the ultra rare, like looks painful, but it's not for Spider-Man. Like it looks crazy, but it's not. So I love that like aesthetic or like that look of Spider-Man, in my opinion. Also love the Batman Who Laughs. Was so confused when it did not sell out and stopped myself from stacking it since I thought he's a bad investment. Silly me. Yeah, well, in hindsight, everything back then was a good investment. You know, some people didn't know which ones were going to be better than others, but yeah, that was kind of the deal. So, all right, this time I'm actually going to do a top of the hour top gains, also known in the comic world as Batman Who Laughs. Yes, it is. Anyone that's like a big comic book, I would say like DC fan or whatever, and they're like seen or read the Batman Who Laughs, like it's a pretty big thing. Like he's done some pretty crazy stuff. He got injected with like a hyper dose of like the Joker serum or like the Joker gas or something like that. Kind of mentally became the Joker. He like enslaved a bunch of people as his like Robins, and he like was able to kill the like, you know how like Batman has a contingency plan in case like the Justice League goes haywire, and he has like a plan for like Superman and Wonder Woman. He has a plan for everyone. Like now take that like twisted nature of Joker. Now he can find a way to just kill them. And so like he does some crazy stuff. It's a really interesting story. I haven't read it like page for page, but like I said, I watched it on Comics Explained. Like that's a guy I would really suggest checking out. If you want to learn more about just characters in comic books and like superhero abilities, he definitely does it in an entertaining manner so you don't get bored. Coffee shots. I wish I would have stacked that Batman. Yeah, dude, I wish I would have stacked Ben Riley. There's like, I wish I would have stacked Batman Who Laughs. I wish I would have stacked Ben Riley's. I even told people to stack Catwoman like a long time ago as well. Like there was a video I did called the best NFTs for like under 100 gems that I suggested, or like NFTs to get if you missed like the FA pump or something like that for under 100 gems. It was literally like Batman Who Laughs, Catwoman, Batgirl, all FAs, and Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. I told everyone like these are all great for under 100 gems, like you could probably get a few, whatever. Little did I know like they were all gonna 4x like shortly after, like, you know, probably 3 weeks later. Yeah. Rare Grime Beats says this gem squeeze for the new Batman drop isn't much of a gem. No, it's a misstep. It's like a hiccup on the market, but that's it. Like people have been preparing, or people have been consolidating for gems and drops and stuff like that for a while. So like we need a series, or it's either a single drop, blind blocks drop with like a huge new IP, or we need a series of drops where it's like, hey, we're announcing this series. It's a multi-day drop that's 3 days long, 4 or 5, whatever, and each time it's going to be a blind box format drop, and it's going to cost 50 gems. And like that's what's going to cause a little drawback. And the bigger the IP, the bigger the dip will be. That I've noticed. So no, it's not much of a gem squeeze at all, because all you need is what? Probably, because it's what's it called? A battle statue. It might be anywhere between 80 to 100, 120 gems, so it doesn't take you that much to earn that back. And you probably need a few thousand, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 to play on the secondary market. There could be a few people that sell for like below 1,000, and those will just get gobbled up. And of course, this is knowing nothing about the mints at all, or like none of the Medium article stuff. So it's not gonna be like Christmas squeeze now with all these whales. Exactly. I think squeezes will still happen, but like the IPs need to be bigger and bigger, and they need to rival DC, Marvel, Disney. They need to rival those at some level. That, or we have multiple like medium tier, like, and like if we did like Ninja Turtles, Jurassic Park, and like I don't know what's another like pretty like semi big name or something like that. Like if we did like an anime like Dragon Ball Z actually would be a huge deal. But if we had like consecutive pretty big name or like well-known IPs back to back to back, and not a lot of time in between, then we would probably see a bit of a dip. T Tubbs. Hey, did you get any Recur passes? No, I'm not really. I don't have anything against Recur. I think they're doing good work. Like I haven't done that much research on them. Like I don't think we should shame other companies that wish to do NFTs or give them a hard time. It's like You know, we're all out here doing the same thing. It just so happens that like ours are 3D AR capable, partnered with like big licenses. But so is Recur. I know they got like Hello Kitty, Jurassic Park, Ninja Turtles, I believe. Maybe, I'm not exactly sure. They have Star Trek as well, which I think is another thing. Like people forget, like just because we have Marvel doesn't mean Marvel won't do NFTs for literally any other platform or anyone else. Like I think Star Trek is also partnered with Recur as well. So yeah, wow, yeah, Batgirl was so cheap. Yeah, she was really cheap back in the day. I think she was let me pull her up. Or actually, let's go over the top gainers. This literally happened in the last 5 minutes. Let me just like refresh this to make sure it's like working all right. So look at the top gainers for the hour, on the hour. Pop Life Print. So a lot of the independent artist stuff is getting pumped because of obviously Mutable X is around the corner, and there is a, oh gosh, I forgot his name. There's a guy who does tweet quite a bit. I forgot his name on Twitter, but he's another like Veve whale. He seems to be very bullish on the just like the decon art or just independent artists like art NFTs. So I do think that's part of the reason why a lot of these are going up. Enterprise D, I did say like if you're gonna invest in one of the Star Treks, I would do the Enterprise D over the Borg because everyone wants the Enterprise. So that's gone up quite a bit. I think it's already going up quite a bit. Let's see. 137 listings. I want to take a quick look at this. But as you can see here, I forgot. It's like decon art, decon art, decon art, decon art, decon art, decon art, like all going up. I remember telling a friend who was trying to figure out which decon art to buy. I told him, I was like, actually, I think Supernova would actually be a pretty good buy. Like, she's at like 240 or whatever. I remember telling him this morning. Okay, so Enterprise D, some pretty healthy pumps right here. 210. Maybe the Star Trek fans are here. Maybe not. I do think, geez, maybe I overlooked this. 88 gems, huh? It's already gone up triple in price. I think, and unfortunately, wait for the next big IP announcement, and this thing, unfortunately, like, let's say it stays around 300 to like 330. It'll probably go down to like 210, maybe 200, like next big IP announcement or something, so. Yeah, that's what I imagine. So that's what I'm banking on. Like if I was to buy in the Enterprise D, I don't know if I would do it right now. I would just wait for, right now it's not a matter of if, it's just when. Like when is Veve gonna announce a bigger IP? And if you want to buy some of these non-DC Marvel or Disney NFTs, just wait for that announcement. Everything will legitimately dip, and that's the best time to buy. That's what I would do. Like anything that's like not Marvel, DC, anything like that. So if you want to buy like Cartoon Network, if you want to buy maybe some of the other decon stuff or Star Trek or some of those other like lesser known or like smaller IPs, like just wait for a big announcement and just buy then. I feel like a big announcement is going to happen in the next, hopefully within the next week, because right now market is kind of getting a bit not stale. It's like, I mean, it's been crazy at points and other days it's stale, but that's just my recommendation. So we'll keep going down. So more decon art. Enterprise D is going up. Oh, that's a pretty healthy pump. 200 gems. Ultraman Ace. 500 gems. Really? I don't know much about Ultraman. I heard some people talk about it. It's so strange because like I'll see some people in the comments say, you know what, I was in, I think Randy's chat one time and someone did say he claimed to be from China. I mean, there's no way to tell, it's the internet. But he did say like this version of Ultraman isn't the original Ultraman. So it might not be as popular in like Southeast Asia. Like I'm sure people will buy it, but it's not, you know, it's not like their Todd or anything like, it's nothing completely crazy. He did say like, this is like, in a way, like the kind of like the Marvel Mighties version of it. I'm not entirely sure, but this is like supposed to be the son of the original Ultraman who like took up the armor or whatever. So like I said, I know nothing about Ultraman. This is all just like hearsay. But this is basically just what I've heard. So to see it pump this much is pretty crazy. I mean, it was 590 like January 10th, so 2 weeks ago. 500 gems, and now it's over 2,000, so all the more reason to hodl, right? And it pushed almost to 3K, which is nuts. What are the best collectibles to be purchasing for under 500 gems? I see. I'll get to that in a sec. T-dubs. Yeah, I only got one pass because they all have the college sports team's license, which should be huge. But Veve is going to be my favorite regardless. LOL, yeah. A 12-piece Street Fighter set, please. Yeah. Good title for video. Buys under 500. Yeah. Who was it? Andrew Ellis did one for under 250 the other day. I did like a response video to that. Because I was going to do a video topic like very similar to it. And I was like, you know what? I might as well just do a response video. I think that's kind of fun. And so I did. And so I basically gave some options, whether you wanted to stack or whether you want to just buy one NFT at 250 for the most part. So Ultraman universe is huge. Okay, that's good to know. Like I've heard some people like literally give the most bearish news, and then some people give the most bullish news. Like, dude, like Ultraman is huge. Like my, you know, it's like my sister's like nephews are like huge into Ultraman. Like they love him and blah. It's like, I don't know. Can you look up Mickey Mouse Ultra Rare price history? Of course, dude. Mickey Mouse, let's go. I need to change this to collectibles, all collectibles. I was just gonna ask, yeah. Altogether now, Mickey, not much movement. At least like super recently. I am so glad I actually won this on drop, so I got super, super, super lucky. There was like 7 or 8 times I was highly considering selling this. Of course, in hindsight, the absolute best time to sell was at 6K. Was to sell basically at 6K, buy yourself a Todd, because I think at the time, like Todd was like 3.6. And then you buy again like here. Of course, all 110% hindsight, but I'm so glad I just held it out, because now it's at 10K. The total listings have actually gone down pretty significantly. So some people were trying to take profits when it pushed 10K, which is fine. So people sell a lot, people rebuy. And so you can see like just the listings go down and down and down. So it was at 324 when people were selling off at the profit, like to just take profits. Went down to 228. And so like you'll see this happen sometimes where like each time people take profits, the total listings will go down by 20. So you can imagine it's going to go down by 20. So it's like 324, 305, then it's going to go down to 285 the next time people take profit. Like those numbers could be bigger and smaller each time, but like, you know, this is what people are talking about, like months and months and months from now. All of a sudden now it's going to go down to 100, then 50, then like more people are going to hodl. And maybe there's some big IP announcements where people will, you know, sell a couple more, it'll go up, but then it'll just keep going down. And like, it's a pretty typical trend, especially with like the Disney stuff and Marvel and all that, where the listings are just going down and the price is just going up. So it's only a matter of time before there's not a lot of listings left. So someone asked a really good question. It's actually a question I want to ask you guys in the chat. I think it was Andrew Ellis's stream he had earlier today. Someone asked, which NFT on Veve do you think is actually going to reach 0 listings? Like, the when doesn't really matter, but it's like, which NFT do you think is going to be the first to actually reach 0 listings, like on the Veve market? Not like off platform or anything like that, but I mean, having them hosted off platform could contribute to it having 0 listings. But like, which NFT do you guys think is going to be the first one that's going to hit 0 listings? Like, there's just like none for sale, and you're just kind of SOL. Also, give me 1 second here. I just kind of want to... Had to blow my nose. Do we know if Veve has license for Thundercats? Not sure. Maybe? Snarf? Not entirely sure. I've never seen Thundercats, but that's like one of my friends would always do that. It was just, I don't know. And I know that's kind of a meme too. It's like, oh, snarf. Like, that's kind of been a thing. But yeah, let's look at the price action of, I know we touched on Mickey quite a bit, but What is going on here? Why is this not full screen? There we go. We want to see the full screen. Yeah, I mean, Steamboat Willie is doing great. I mean, we'll even look at the other ones too in the meantime as you guys are answering that question. I'm genuinely curious what you guys think, because I have my answer, but I want to give you guys what I think, potentially. Yep, same thing here. Up to 1100. There's a couple times too where I thought about selling my ecomi because I have the full set. I remember actually buying this. I was telling people, you guys can watch my videos, like the first 2.5 weeks of January, I told people like, Mickey at 300 or like below 400, I'm like, this is way undervalued. I told people for like 2.5 weeks to buy Mickey, or maybe it wasn't 2.5 weeks. I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And like at the very end of like 3 videos consecutively, I'm like, what's undervalued? I still think Steamboat Willies are undervalued. I'm like, what's undervalued? Steamboat Willies are undervalued. Like I said it for 3 videos in a row. And then of course this happens. There's a huge pump, 600. I could have sold here, but I just continued to hold. And like, you see this all the time. It's like, you might as well just hold. And I think things that are, in a weird way, exclusively Disney are doing extremely well on Veve. Think of it. As of right now, like things that are like, of course, Elsa is like exclusively Disney, but Walt and Mickey, I would say it's not Marvel, but it's like a Disney thing. The same thing with like Steamboat Willie. They're all doing like very, very well on the platform, so. Coffee shots, I want to see it and then slap myself. Sunny or Sony? Sunny? If you were to choose current items on the market on Veve, what collectibles would be good buys for 100 gems and below to hold for a long time? Honestly, at this point, like anything, if you're gonna, and that's the other term too, it's like, what is the long time? Because everyone, it's kind of like the quote that Mike Tyson said, like everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. It's kind of the same thing as like everyone has a plan until a big IP is announced, or until you're just a few gems short of that one thing that you really want to buy. Then all of a sudden that long-term hodl turns into a, oh, I need to sell it now, which isn't necessarily like a bad thing or anything. Under 100 gems, like I say the typical like Groots, Storms, Sue Storm could be good. Like, are there even any Marvel Mighties below? I'm not very bullish on like the I'm not very bullish on the like Eternals Marvel Mighties. I feel like the show didn't do that great. I didn't really care to watch it, to be honest. Sprites. Like if that's what you, for under 100 gems. What is this song? I'm just gonna skip ahead here. I'm literally just playing like some music off of like YouTube or whatever, so sorry if it like kind of the music gets strange or weird or whatever. Invisible Woman uncommon, not terrible. I think like the Fantastic Four Marvel Mighties aren't bad. I'm sure there's comics, and that's the other thing too. I actually think comics in general, like if literally all you have is 100 gems and you're gonna hold it long term, there are probably a handful of comics. You could probably just get anywhere between like 8 to 12 comics for under 100 gems. That would probably be way better long term. Take it back, like that. I don't know which ones. Like I really wish I could help you out, but that would actually be my suggestion. Like if legitimately all you have is like 100 gems and like you don't want to touch it for 6 months, or like that's all you have, and like you just want to invest and like not look at Veve again, I'm not sure, but like I'd probably say there's probably comic books that might do better than the collectibles. But I'm just way more familiar with the collectibles, so like John F. Walker could be good. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, like I think the Thing would all be decent, like long-term holds. Like honestly, like it's kind of hard to like not be profitable on Veve. Like as long as you put money into something and you just don't touch it for a long time, like it will go up in value. It's just a matter of like which ones will go up in more value sooner, more or less, and at what point. So I hope that helps. Like, I don't know, like we can also look up Groot too. I would say, I would have, a while back, I would have said get Deadpools, but they're all out of that price range right now. Not too bullish on like the Myrmicornos. I know there's some like Myrmicornos and Unicornos that are below that price, but maybe Holiday Groot wouldn't be bad. I'm sure there's some I'm like overlooking too, right? Michael Diggs says, nothing will ever be 0 listings because there will always be sellers. True. Yeah, that's the other thing too. There'll always be sellers for 9.9 million or whatever. If like there were to be, let's say like, I don't want to say single digit listings because I feel like that's already happening with like Secret Rare Spider-Man and stuff, right? I haven't really looked. Let's look that up actually. Like how many listings are there for Secret Rare Spider-Man? I'd assume very, very low. What's the common? Secret Rare. Wow, there's 89 listed. That's a lot. But I'm sure more than half of them are above 500,000 or something like that. So, yeah, I could see that. But I could, you know, the one I said, the one I could kind of picture actually going to 0, and only because there's like a super organized community behind it, is actually the apes. So like the black, silver, or gold apes, because there's a huge community behind it. There's like the Omikongs, there's a lot of other stuff. They're gonna do really well off platform, so people are also gonna just like take the NFTs like off the platform of Veve and might sell them on Immutable X or OpenSea, whatever, at what point. And the community is like very organized. Like if they wanted to, like they could probably get enough people to like pull their listings and stuff. Like, is it gonna happen? I don't think that there'll ever be a 0, but if there was one to have it happen, like it could be the apes, because like they're very, very low mints, and like they're very focused on like getting a community together and all that, and like showing proof that you own it and all that. Rare Grind Beats asks, or says, I don't think we will ever get the iconic Donald Duck and Nazi uniform. Probably not. Unlikely. And probably some of the very, very early Disney shows, which were, you know, for the time, okay, but now it's like frowned upon. The things that they talked about, or the way they depicted certain people, let's say. Hamoon, a NFT will give a lot of returns for renting out. Yeah, there is that. They did say you could like rent out NFTs. Which NFTs are going to be the most rentable? Who knows? Like pre-Viviverse, it could just be the super expensive ones, like Secret Rare Spider-Man, like Todd, Walt. I could definitely see Donnie being like rented out, like whatever. But until we get the Viviverse and there's actually like interaction and like utility and all that stuff and like reasons to actually rent out stuff, like it's hard to say like which NFTs would be like quote unquote the best for renting out. Wascally? Is that it? Wascally Wombat. I hope I pronounced that. Wascally Wombat. Did I miss hearing your thoughts on new Batman statue? Just got here. Not so much. Like I do think the pullback in the market is like going to be extremely temporary. Most of the black and white series NFTs were, I think, 80 gems. I'm assuming this one's going to be anywhere between 80 to 120 gems. That's my guess. I could be wrong. We won't know until the Medium article comes out, probably Friday or Saturday. Like probably at some point Friday, if not like really, really, really early Saturday, I would imagine. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And like, I have no idea of the mints. So, but and that's the other thing too, like people are selling off their NFTs or trying to liquidate stuff to like, not just have exactly 120 gems for the drop, but like, I do think there are people liquidating to get a couple grand to be able to buy the Batman off the secondary market. And that's the thing too, it's like, I have no idea, like, if there's 30,000 mints, like, yeah, it could actually probably go for like under 1,000. But if it's closer to like 10,000 or like 5,000 mints, like now we're talking 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 potentially. Kind of matters like what kind of rarity is attached to it. If it's animated, like who knows? But that's just my take on it. I think it'll do very well. It's the very first battle statue, which is cool. It sounds like that's going to be a new series that's released. So The king of NFTs. Me lord, nice to meet your acquaintance. 8 Donnies in the marketplace. He may be the one to get unlisted first. I could see that actually. That or like the, what's it called? The 007 ticket or something like that. Like I could see that. Rascally Wombat. Dead agree with the Invisible Woman on comment. Yeah, I would say that. Like it's pretty solid. She got, you know, she was introduced with another NFT. Though I do think Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, I do think the other 3 could maybe go a bit further because they're a bit more popular. You can't afford the Human Torch because that's like 200 gems or something like that. But yeah, I would say any one of those 3, like the Thing, Mr. Fantastic, and when those get announced, like a part of like with that new series with Sue Storm and stuff, they'll definitely go up in price. So that could be an opportunity to sell at the peak and then buy when it dips, because it will dip after it peaks, obviously. David Gui, what's up, dude? True, this is Netflix Ultraman. Okay, so I heard correctly. Like it's a bit different. It's not the original Ultraman, but it's still like in the same universe and all that stuff. And so Rare Grind Beats, Deadpool commons were like 70 gems at one point. Yes. Even cheaper than that, I believe. I think they were down to like, weren't they? I don't think they ever got 2 box price. I know the uncommons did. But I could have sworn they were like really close. Like they were like 55 gems or like 52 gems or something. It says not Asia OG Ultraman, only the posters are OG. That's what I heard. So, and do you think that will actually like, do you think I think it'll still do very well, but it's like not going to do as well as if it was like the OG Ultraman. C-Spark asks, would you rather keep Iron Man and Wally or sell them for 2 Disney common and uncommon? Oh, like the Mickey ones? I really like Iron Man. I'm pretty bullish on Iron Man. Like he is the leader of the Avengers. He's not the first Avengers to hit the platform. That was Captain America. But he's the FA Iron Man. Like that's really hard to debate. And I think he's one of the most iconic. I think some people forget like how much of a role he played in like the MCU and all that stuff. And like, I mean, he was literally the one to snap Thanos's Infinity Gauntlet to like end it all. Like he sacrificed himself and literally also figured out a way to like undo everything. I know that's like MCU stuff and like unrelated to the NFT, but it's an FA Iron Man. And I think he's kind of being slept on because he's part of that Golden Moments format. But like, if there was legitimately like a normal blind box Iron Man with like cool 3D and he looks similar to like Superman or whatever it is, yeah, that same like really glowing like red and yellow armor, like it would do much better. But I do think people are sleeping on Iron Man. I would maybe do a Wally for, because what's Wally now, like 1500? Maybe do a Wally for an uncommon. It's hard to tell because uncommon's doing pretty well right now. It's just so hard because it sucks because it was so much cheaper before. But Wally is up quite a bit. It really depends on like what kind of utility too, like Disney's gonna bring to these Golden Moments and stuff. Yeah, Wally's a tough one because it's like the very lowest, I would argue, version of the Golden Moment. So it's like it is one that you could trade. It depends. I hope that helped, if that makes sense. King of NFTs, Donnie only has 150 minutes. Yeah, it's super low. Veve did, like ecomi and David Yu and all them, like did admit like that was probably the first minting mistake they made on the platform, was like, well, it's Cartoon Network and like it's Powerpuff Girls, like we're not really sure how many people would like it. We only have like 10,000 people on the platform, so like, all right, we'll keep the mints low, like we'll see how it plays out. But like they had no idea that like, you know, it would do as well as it is now, like how low the mints genuinely are compared. Because like they're like the numbers that we have now on Veve, like they were expecting it would take them like 3 to 4 years to get to 1 million, let alone get to 1 million within like 6 months or like 8 months of like the platform releasing. So they're just like way ahead. LM says, I wasn't big on Murmur Cornos, but if the MCP points help with drops, the Murmur Cornos may pump. Possibly. I know there's a few other sets that like might do well too. I'm not very bullish on the Master Collector points, to be honest. I know there's some people that are. I'm kind of in Randy's shop. and I even thought about this before Randy even mentioned it, but it's like, you're really competing against some genuine whales that will always have 10 to 15 times more points than you, or just in general, they're gonna have so many points. And I'm not a huge fan of like investing in collectibles that are just gonna give me a random chance of a drop that's gonna that I'm gonna compete against literally millions of other people. Like, I'm gonna be literally competing against millions of other people for these limited time drops with a random thing. So I'm not very bullish on it. They need to add more utility or more incentive to actually like collect, but the master collector points, not entirely sure how that's gonna play out. I would need to get more information. But I know you, like, if you put X amount of points into a pot for a raffle and you win, you lose all those points. But if you lose, you get 90% back, which is nice. But even if a whale invests all of his points and he loses them all, and he wins, he could probably just get more points than you right back in a couple weeks. Like potentially, who knows? Like, it depends on like whether he's focused on sets and stuff. Me personally, I'd rather just focus on NFTs that are going to give me the most ROI and complete sets where I can. Like, I always start top down. Like, if I get a secret rare, or like if I get the ultra rare and rare of something, like I'm like, all right, I'll buy the common and uncommon just to complete the set. But like, it's not like I get Steamboat Willie common, I'm like, well, time to finish the set, I'll just spend an extra 15 grand to finish the set. Like, I'm not gonna, 12 grand to finish the set. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Let's see, coffee shots, only 2,888 people can have the season 2 Mormokono full set. True. Because it's pretty much always going to be time gated by how many secret rares there are, right? I actually won a shark bite on drop, and I think I sold it for $475, like day one. Like, the price was going up, so I think I did a pretty good job of selling it at the ceiling. But I know it's much higher now, but like, I don't regret it, because those gems allowed me to get a couple more zombie Spider-Mans when they were at like 2 something. Wesley Wombat. I don't know why I gotta say it like that. Invisible Woman, definitely undervalued because people will want all 4 when they release. It's Fantastic Four, not 1 out of 4. Yeah, I agree. But if we're talking individual, or if you only have 100 gems to invest, like, I do think there's a little bit more up potential, or like there could be a bit more value placed on Mr. Fantastic, The Thing, or Human Torch for the most part. Nevea Anthony asks, what is the lowest mint you own? I know you don't want to show off your collectibles yet. No, it's not that. I'm kicking myself for not doing this. I don't really focus on low mints at all. Like, I don't even know how to price that stuff. I know it's like X amount of like the floor and stuff. During 12 days of Veve, this is when silver apes were about like 500, maybe a bit more, a bit less. During 12 days of Veve, for silver apes, there was a mint number 64. And the way the apes work, as far as I remember, because I believe it was a blind box drop, so there's only 1 ape out of the 3 that can have the number 64. And so I was like, wait, that's perfect. Like, oh my god, like Donkey Kong, like Nintendo 64. And it was priced at like 1,100 gems. So a little bit more than double. And I'm like, dude, if silver apes do well, like, I could actually own a sub 100, and it's 64, and like I can make a meme out of it and all that stuff, like that it's Donkey Kong, Nintendo 64. And I just hesitated and like, there was a drop that was happening later that day, and then sure enough, like, market closed, I played the drop, I don't remember what the drop was, probably a comic. Drop, market opens back up, and I bought the comic I wanted, then like I looked back and I saw it was gone, I'm like, oh my god. And then of course, a week later, after 12 days of Veve, or less than a week later, after 12 days of Veve, silver apes go up to 1K, and I'm like, oh my god. But no, I don't really have anything like low mint for the most part. I think the lowest mint I have is like a 140 something, like ultra rare Throg or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's my story about about me passing up and that's the thing, like, I've learned that if I instinctually feel something and I'm like, all right, is this a good deal, and blah blah, like, it's not so much like, is this a good deal, or it's like, I don't know. Now, like, whenever I have a gut instinct or I feel like it's a good deal, I'll think about it for a bit, but like, I'll usually either I'll make a decision very quickly. I'll either say no and not like, just you know, mull over it over and over. I'll just either pull the trigger or don't, because I'd rather just pull the trigger and I'm like, you know what, I went with my gut instinct, like that's it. It's usually when you like mull over it is when it kind of bites you in the ass. And that's just me personally, like everyone's is different. King of the NFTs, only seven of the 007 tickets minted. Pleasure's all mine, friend. Thanks. Neva, mine is a 350 fat. I like it. Fat breakfast. Do you have a wallet? I did. And I sold it. I did have a wallet and I sold it. So I got very lucky on drop. I might make a YouTube story out of it, or I don't know if you guys care to hear, but Sir Crypto, Labbits breeding in games, I think they are undervalued. I'll be honest, I know like VV Vision and like those guys are pretty bullish on it. Like that stuff is so far off, and it's really, at the end of the day, it's also up to VV whether they want to add like breeding for Labbits and stuff. Like I know that the artist himself wants breeding and all of that, but it's up to VV whether they want to integrate it and how it's going to work, and like, are they going to create more NFTs? Will it like burn the original parents? Like how would that work? Like no one knows. And I'm not very, like I said, bullish on banking on interactivity and integration with like the VVverse and all that stuff. Like until I see it's like close to being done, like I'm not too concerned with it, because I don't think a lot of people understand how long it really takes to like design a video game, let alone like a VR video game, and have a level of integration and like NFTs and all this stuff, and like this huge massive world. And is it going to be a single shard server or multiple servers? Like how is it going to work? Like no one really knows. And until I see more information, like I'm not banking on like, oh, I'm going to buy 500 hoverboards because I can rent out a hoverboard shop. Like that could be a thing, but what if you're not actually able to ride them around or whatever it is? Like you can stand on them, but you're stationary, and like who knows? So I think like even if there were breeding Labbits and games and all that stuff, I don't think we're going to see any of that to like 2024, like at the soonest, in my personal opinion. Like I'm not trying to spread FUD or anything like that, but that like it legitimately takes that long to like, there are AAA game companies. It takes them 2 to 5 years to make a video game, and like we're expecting Veve, which I'm not even sure. I mean, they're not even like a video game software company like that make video games. They probably have an extremely small team, and like we're expecting them to make a Veveverse VR integrated game within what, a year or something like that. I know they've been talking about it for a while, but like they need to like outsource it, in my opinion. I think they're going to outsource the Veveverse to like Facebook or another game company that could actually like, that's what they do for a living. Like that's what they professionally do. Like David Yu and all them are very good at negotiating contracts, getting IPs, minting NFTs, doing the social media. Like they're amazing at all that, but like designing a video game VR experience from the ground up is a totally different animal. Rare Grime Beats, Gold Moments, Darth Vader, and a Gold Moments TIE Fighter statue, please. TIE Fighter would be pretty cool. You know, an X-Wing too? That'd be pretty cool. I do like Star Wars. I like Star Trek more, but I can totally see the appeal of Star Wars. It's kind of like, as much as I hate to say it, like, there's always like the like normie version. I would say like Star Wars is kind of like the normie version of Star Trek, like as much as I like hate to say it. Same thing with like Warhammer. It's hard. Like so there's been times where I try to get my friends into like certain entertainment things or like IPs or whatever, and they're like, oh, I like this game, like that, you know, like let's say like Battlefield or something like that. Like some of my friends were like really into Call of Duty, and that's all they know, just run and gun style. It's just like run around, shoot, die, or it spawn in 2 seconds, run around, shoot, die. Like that's all they do. But it's like, dude, try Battlefield, you're gonna like it. They're like, I don't know, blah blah. It's like Call of Duty is a normie game. Like try Battlefield. Like there's actually some tactics, and like there's the vehicles you can use and blah blah. Like that's kind of an example. I don't really play either of those games very much anymore, but trying to think of like another example. But yeah, I hope you guys kind of get what you mean. Like sometimes there's like people like the most mainstream game, and then there's like, all right, this game is cool, but like there's this other game that is way more in depth, way cooler, way this, you know, way that. You just got to give it a try, even though it's like way lesser known, it's more complex. For me, that's like EVE Online. Like I actually play EVE Online not so much now. I've been so busy with like Veve and like all this stuff, but it's like, it's such a great MMO, awesome community. The game is just so complex. People just want to play Final Fantasy, WoW, like all that stuff, like the normie MMOs, like that's fine. But like this other game is, you just get a totally different experience, and it's like nothing like you'll experience like other MMOs. But all right, to each their own. And I guess that's kind of where I was going with the, I don't even know where I was going with that. Yeah, Star Trek and Star Wars, I don't know. To each their own. Like the different lores and stuff like that. I do think there's way more lore around Star Wars because it is a much, much bigger IP. But I do like the more philosophical approach of Star Trek in general. Not the most recent shows, but like the older shows. LM, at coffee shops, true in the season 2 merms are the cheapest for the amount of MCP points? Yes. Rare grind beats, coffee shots. I think one day even less people can have the set because a lot of people will have hoarding singles. Exactly, that's the most amount of people. So there are people with maybe multiple shark bites or multiples of other entities that are like hard stacking, whatever it is. So I agree because you will need the secret rare to complete the set and be out of reach for most people. Yeah. Rascally Wombat, are you a physical collector too? No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just some normal guy. Like I don't know. Like that's one thing that was always kind of shy about making content is like I wasn't even sure if I wanted to make videos and stuff. Like I was like, all right, I know a lot about the market, and like I did a ton of research on NFTs, but it's like, dude, I don't have like the best setup. Like I'm not an Omi millionaire. I don't have this like fancy job where I can just keep putting like thousands of gems into like Veve every week. Like I don't have I don't have a super fancy setup. I'm not known for like a big name thing prior to Veve, so I have like this huge crowd that I can bring into here. Like I don't have any of that shit. Like my room is honestly completely blank, like all white. Like I just got a, what's it called? Like a skylight thing on Amazon. I'm like, all right, I cannot just have like a white background. Like I'm pretty chill, even though I do get, passionate at times. Like put that in the background. It's like, I'm gonna put on the recording software. Like I have a blanket right now that's like blocking the light from outside of my window because like the curtains don't really work the best. All stuff. It's like, I'm just like an average dude. Like I just got lucky on drops, and like I was able to use those gems to invest and like be able to flip my way to where I am now. And yeah, it's like, so I'm not trying to like garner sympathy or anything like that, but it's like just letting you know, like I think a lot of people assume that content creators are like, not assume, but like they're like well off, they're financially successful, and like they're physical collectors, and like it was always kind of embarrassing because like I would watch other content creators, they have like a collection of magazines and all this cool stuff and like this awesome setup and like all these really cool things. I'm like, dude, like what if people like don't like me because I don't have this cool setup or I don't get like whatever? It's like, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put on content and just talk with you guys and be honest. Like, and that's the other thing too. I do think some people in the community are like very, very overly optimistic about certain things. Like I'm just realistic with certain things. Like I'm not very bullish on like the whole like Viviverse like integration, all that stuff. I think people are like very optimistic about it, and like I'd rather more focus on things that are gonna like help myself and help other people within the market make as much money as they can, and try and take advantage of this like extremely limited time we have before things get crazy. We go into the Q system, we go to Immutable X, Omi to NFT, like all this crazy stuff is happening like in the near future. So sorry, Wesley Wombat, I didn't mean to like go off on a tangent and like how dare you assume like I own a physical collector's thing or I have a bunch of money. Like that's not it at all. I'm just kind of ranting here. Letty, sorry if I mispronounced that. I agree, I didn't focus on the MCP anymore as you were competing with bigger fish. I sold some stuff I have today to buy Penguin, USS Enterprise, I assume, and Zombie Hunter Spidey. Pretty happy with those purchases, dude. That's awesome. Those are all very solid. And I think Penguin is a sleeper. I think a lot of people forget about Penguin as well. He's not Joker. He's not the anti-hero or the main antagonist of Batman, but like he's up there, and he is part of the Black and White series. So I mean, those are all very good pickups. Coffee shots, I heard somewhere that you can use MCP points to buy accessories as well, so I'm bullish on that. Yeah, we'll see. It depends on how much the accessories are and all that stuff. So I'll probably still have like more than your average like user with master collector points, but like I'm not personally going to go out of my way to spend 1,500 gems to complete a set or anything like that. Like it's like I'd rather just get a FA Joker or something like that for that price, or FA Harley, or a Penguin. Is that how much Penguin is now? Like those are all pretty solid. Penguin. Yeah, get a Penguin. Coffee shot, Sir Herzog. Okay, there's the Rare Ground Beats. Marvel released some Star Wars comics back in the day. I wonder if we will see those, or even the old Disney comics. Yes, Warhammer NFTs would be cool too. Yes, that was. I made a video earlier this year talking about like, what's it called? IPs I would like to see coming out this new year, and it was just like me being personally, just kind of greedy. Like I don't think like Veve isn't gonna do these, but it's just like NFTs I would personally like to see. Let's see if I can find that list. Penguin is a sleeper. Let's open this. Sorry if the stream's lagging a bit. I think it's just because I have like a lot of windows open. And again, my computer's like 8 years old, so let's see here. Here it is. With the movies, and that's what really got me into the... No! All right, pause. Click pause 3 times. Why is it not pausing? So the ones that I said, the IPs I would like to see, just me personally, like, just again, I don't think Veve's gonna do most of these, but I would like to see them do Dungeons and Dragons, Ninja Turtles, Firefly, The Lord of the Rings, Pokemon, of course, at some point, not this early in the year, but maybe later in the year, Zelda, Konami, more specifically Metal Gear Solid, Yu-Gi-Oh, Warhammer 40k, Jurassic Park, Battlestar Galactica, more Marvel NFTs like Wolverine and like some of the more like well-known like Marvel superheroes. Like I would like to see them. More DC NFTs. Also, I would like to see them do like an actual Iron Man. Like that would be cool. More DC NFTs. What were some of the examples I gave for a DC? Yeah, like Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman. Like kind of just at the very least complete the Justice League. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys can probably tell I'm pretty much a nerd listing off some of those. But yeah, Marvel released Star Wars comics back in the day. I'm not entirely sure. Like it's cool that they released like Star Wars comics. I'm sure they were great. But that's probably up to Marvel. I mean, maybe actually, because Marvel and Disney are kind of like one and the same now, but we'll see. Rascal Wombat, I'm glad you were making content, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. LM, it's hard to say how beneficial MCP points will be, but I figure investing a small amount of portfolio into collectibles that give good MCP points return could be worth it. Yeah, like that's why I have like the Mickey set. I do have, I think I have like the Throg set too. I was stacking Throgs back in the day, kind of a mistake. But I still have like the full set. I'm sure at some point I'll sell all of it. Part of me wants to keep it just to remind myself like to be more careful with things that you stack. Coffee shots? Nah, bro, you just need cool vibes. Cool vibes. Sub for a cold glass of milk and a warm cookie. What are your thoughts on Hot Girl? Let's take a quick look. Penguin's the sleeper for sure. 2020 release. Yeah, that's true. 2020. Hammond, bro, I'm on the edge of selling uncommon Mickey for Penguin. I still have the common Mickey. I would keep him. I would keep him, dude. Anytime, because the prices of those are directly tied to the ultra rare Mickey. If ultra rare Mickey pumps, people are just innately gonna want to buy the uncommon and commons. And I do think ultra rare Mickey could go very, very high. So like in my personal opinion, the Penguin is definitely a sleeper, but it's not innately tied to anything else. And that's why I say like, dude, keep those. Have you seen what uncommon Mickey has done? Have you seen uncommon Mickey? What it's done? It's oh yeah, it's, by the way, it's up to 1400 again. And even if you did sell it, I mean, you would be short, so you would have to make up the gems somehow, right? Unless you have like a really low mint or something crazy. Yeah. And like I mentioned before, the Disney NFTs, the ones that are like directly related to Disney, not Marvel, you know, associated with Disney, like the Disney NFTs, the ones that are directly related with them, do extremely well. Like doubling in price within a couple days, and of course, yeah, there's a sell-off, people taking profit, yada yada yada. But anytime the common or the ultra rare moves, the uncommon will follow. They're all tied to each other. I'm not saying the formula isn't going to be the exact same. It's not always like, oh, Happy Whistle is always going to be 1/8 of the price of the ultra rare. Like that number will ebb and flow, but like they're all tied to each other. The Penguin doesn't have that option. Like it's like if a Todd goes up or Jim Lee Joker or Harley Quinn goes up, like it doesn't mean Penguin will go up too. Maybe if like all of the black and white go up, maybe Penguin will as well. I just like I just like Steamboat Willie a lot, and that's because I thought the same thing like 10 or 15 times. Trust me, dude. I was like, should I sell this and like trade for a different blue chip or a different thing? Like yeah, Penguin has gone up quite a bit too, but it's had to work much harder to get there. Like it took quite a bit of effort to get to where it's at now. And like it's a great NFT. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying compared to Uncommon Mickey, I would keep it, dude. That's just my opinion. Disney's gonna do some crazy stuff. I hope that helps. Letio, there was a D&D logo on one of the ecomi's articles in Medium. Nice, okay. James Rutkowski Jr., are you gonna be a Rebel? Are you gonna be Rebel streaming against Randy at the same time? Or do you guys do different? I kind of try to do different times. I have no schedule. I just stream when I feel like it. I'll probably get off here soon, but like sometimes I just get so into it. Like if you guys, as long as you guys are chatting, like I'm just in the zone. I'm just like going. So like I'm not trying to compete with anyone here. It just makes sense, to be honest, to not stream at the same time as him, but it happens. I'll probably, you know, now that you mention it, I'll probably get off here like soonish, maybe like 15 minutes, because there was actually something I probably should be doing instead of streaming. D&D logo on the Medium article, yeah, you said that. Little, along with Nintendo, Pokemon, Pac-Man, and some license we already have, like Marvel, DC, yeah, again. Hammond, shit, I hoped you would say Penguin. Dude, I understand black and white, or just DC in general, is 2.5% fee. Stick with the Mickeys, dude. And who knows? And that's the thing. There could be a point where, let's say Penguin pumps to like 1.8, and you're like, oh my god. But Mickey's are still at 1.4. I made a mistake. Wait like 2 weeks, and something will happen with Mickey or whatever, and then like Uncommon Mickey will go to like 2.1, and you're like, okay, good. I'm 300 gems spent. You can't get too emotional with like, oh my god, I made a mistake or whatever. Like, it depends, because like there's times where some NFTs will be a better decision than others at certain points. But if I'm talking long term, Mickey. I know it has more mints and all that other stuff, and like the mints for Penguin are low, but I would say just the way how early people are reacting to Mickey, like Penguin's been around for how long? When did he get released? He's been around for over a year, and this is where he's at. Mickey's been out for a month, and look where he's at now. Appreciate it. I'm not trying to like choke slam you, but like I've been there where I'm like, and the only reason why I reacted that way is because you're like, I'm on the cusp of selling it right now, and I'm like, if you're like, yeah, I'm kind of entertaining the idea, but you're like, I could definitely tell you've been like thinking about it multiple times over the last day or two, maybe. So I just kind of wanted to do it. make sure you don't do it. Creeper Dash, dude, hey man, how was your day? It was good. Unfortunately, I'm getting off somewhat soon because I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Yeah. And also Randy's streaming, so I got other stuff to do, but I also want to hang out in his chat as well. But Creeper Dash, dude, I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate the comments you've been leaving on my YouTube channel, or like my YouTube videos and stuff. So I appreciate that. Yeah, keep the Mickey. Keep the Mickey 100%. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, of course. Anytime, dude. Almost at the top of the hour. Really quick, we'll take a look at the top losers for the hour. And this was what happened the previous 50 something minutes, 57 minutes. So again, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of DC, Marvel, or what's it called, Disney on here. So Kripkins, we have, that looks like it's just some retracement. It's a lot of what's it called, a lot of the Murmurcornos, or Unicornos technically. No, these are Murmurcornos. Spider-Man choices. Rise of Ultraman, not too bullish on the posters. Not a huge fan of them. God, I remember I was holding one of the 007 posters for, God, I shit you not, like 2 months. And I was trying to legitimately get rid of it for like 2 weeks, and I just like couldn't. And I was like, I'm not gonna take a loss on this. And like the last few days, I was like, screw it. I'm gonna take a small loss. It was only like, it was like less than 10 gems. And I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna sell it. And like, I still couldn't get rid of it for like 3 more days. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I just want to get rid of this thing. Princess Bubblegum. Wow, Princess Bubblegum's down. Interesting. You know what? I need to watch Adventure Time. At least like a handful of episodes, just so I can kind of get the concept. I did hear a lot of it was based off of Dungeons and Dragons, which I really need to get back. I really need to find a group again. Funny enough, like after I thought about it for a while, I actually thought about doing a D&D group, potentially with other like BV content creators. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm not sure if we're gonna like live stream it or anything like that. I think that'd be cool. But if we can get like me, Randy, and that's the other thing too, we have people literally all over the world, but like I would love to either find a DM, because I'm a good DM. I don't like DMing, but if I absolutely have to, then I will. But it is what it is. But I think that would be fun. Like, I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in like watching like other VV content creators do like a D&D campaign or like a D&D like thing, or if you guys even know what D&D is or whatever. Like, gosh, it's only 7 o'clock at night. I'm still casually drinking coffee. Terrible idea. Let's go back to we got like 2 minutes before the thing updates. Let's take a look at the top gainers again. Okay, so it was the Pop Life art, or it was just mostly like the decon art. Dang, Merms are down. Maybe that's my sign to get them. Yeah, dude, if you want to cash in, like I've said, like I'm not trying to shit on Murmurcornos, Unicornos. Like I'm just not bullish on the sets, but some people might be, and it could be a good move. Like that's the thing, dude. Like you just need to find the thing that you're convicted about and just, you know, don't have to go all in, like sell everything you have and go gems wise, but like if you're convicted in something, like just go all in. Like honestly, when I went in on Throgs, I wasn't fully convicted. Me and my friend kind of talked about it, and I did it, but yeah, like I still think like it'll do well, like if I want to hold it for longer, but like I need to liquidate a few of those as well as some other NFTs to get a Todd eventually. Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. What's up, Delpha? Sorry, Delpa? What's up? But I do think like Murmurcornos, all that stuff, and it's also one of the few NFTs that are like under 100 gems, so like stacking those are pretty easy. Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. Let's look at that up. I'm assuming that's what you want me to do. I need to go to collectibles. And that's the other thing too. The only one that's actually called the Amazing Spider-Man is the common. So not only is it like on the cover of the, what do you call it? It's like on the load screen of Veve. It's getting very laggy, so let me refresh this. So bear with me, guys. Sorry, bear with me. This is what happens. All right. Oof. Now it's like, there it goes. cool. We are back. Look at the Spider-Man real quick. Thanks. Yeah, we'll look at it. Just give me a sec. Spider-Man. Open this up. I mean, he's doing very well, dude. I remember when he was going for... I remember when I first started Veve, I think he was like 200 gems. November. No, he was... When I first started Veve, he was like below 100. You know, and then he was sitting around 200 for a while, and I'm like, it's kind of crazy. I'm like, I didn't really... Back then, I didn't really pay attention to the mints at all, but I was just like, man, this Spider-Man's like really cheap. Like, he's on like the loading screen, and it's a common. Like, I'm like, it's an FA. It's kind of a cool NFT. And I didn't even think about getting one until like, till right here, till 400. And I'm like, geez, it's going up there. So like, I think I did have a couple of these, but I ended up flipping them and making profit. I'm sure at some point I'll buy in, but it's just so hard to like want to buy back into something that you've seen the progression of it just basically 10x since you last saw it, and you're just like, ugh, great. So 888, 93. So yeah, you can see here. So when you're looking at this graph on ecomi.wiki, you can see the price went up here at, let's just call it 900. Went down. People were trying to take profits, which is why the price dipped quite a bit. And then we actually saw a rebound of just it going right back up, like very little to no hesitation. I'm kind of curious like how long that gap was. Yep, and you notice that like typically the pink and blue line will oppose each other. So as listings go down, price will go up because obviously people are buying the floor, price will go up. Sometimes it's people do delist stuff. Typically that happens with like very low listings. Like if there's only 100 listings of something, like sometimes price could drop because there are a handful of people that might just delist their stuff. Like the floor gets bought up, a few other people delist it and it just drops faster. Who knows? But yeah, like I did not expect the commons to go that quickly. And again, I think there's certain points where after 12 days of Veve was over, people were, the first like week of January, it seemed like people were pumping the blue chips and a lot of like the higher tier NFTs, and then it started trickling down, right, to like Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman, this Spider-Man in particularly. So like anything below, like after the blue chips got pumped, like anything below 1,500 gems were just getting pumped, and then after that, anything below 750 gems were just getting pumped. Like the Deadpools, the Storms, all that stuff were just getting pumped towards like the tail end or towards like the last few weeks of January. So went all the way up to 1,500 gems. Now it's down to 950. So, and this is the kind of thing you have to be a little bit cognizant of. Like there's a lot of people that have bought before all of this. So like a lot of people bought around 400 or less. So anytime it gets this high, just expect a lot of people to potentially sell off. Like this peak where total listings is pretty high. But I mean, I think this is actually not a bad point if you want to buy a Common Spider-Man. I haven't really paid too much attention to like this Spider-Man series, to be honest. I don't know why. I should probably look at it a bit more and probably get some second opinions from like other content creators. I mean, it's a safe bet. It's probably easily one of the safest bets you could probably do on the platform is like get any of the original Spider-Man. It just sucks that it's like 1K, but I hope that's what you were looking for. You paid 40 bucks for this? Dude, I mean, you could take profit at any time, but it's up to you when and where you want to sell it, right? Again, I've told this to someone else before. Don't sell it just to sell it. Like, oh, I just want 1,500 gems or whatever it is. Like, make sure like you're gonna sell it to go to something else that you believe in more than the original Spider-Man. But that's a hell of a deal, dude. Yeah, you got it on drop. It seems like either on drop or you got it on the secondary market or something like that. Because I know this drop happened a while ago. Like, when did this drop happen? August 7th. So you've been around since August. Congrats, dude. I wish I was around during August. I didn't show up till like mid-November, like early mid-November. So I've been around for a little over 3 months. Sorry, I kind of skipped some messages. Lediel. I think that's it. Lediel. A D&D live stream with other Veve YouTubers would be cool. I'm glad there's one fan. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm so sorry. Abanafal? Abanafal. Abanufal? Octoriandi? I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but I'm not really sorry because I was just having fun with it. Need more gems for the next week Batman drops. Do you think selling Groot common now a good idea? It really depends on what else you have to sell. Common Groots, it depends on what you bought them at. I mean, this is kind of where you don't want to get caught, right? Ideally. And so you have to like sell NFTs to like play the drops and stuff. I would try to get to like at least 100 gems. I'm not sure how much liquid you have, but like try to get to 100 gems. Selling common Groots right now isn't terrible. Like you might be able to milk it for like 1 or 2 more days to see if you can get a higher price. And like wait, but then again, if they release the Medium article and you find out the price is pretty high, then like prices might drop again. There might be a little secondary withdrawal. So interesting. Pump here, a little bit of yeah, I guess the numbers are so big, even though the market doesn't really reflect it. I forgot there's so many mints of this. Like I'm seeing like, oh, that's not that much of an increase, but when you really think about it, I mean, it increased by 200 listings, so which is why it's not going up as much as it is now. Yeah, it's really up to you. It sucks that you weren't able to sell it at 65, but I mean, it's a common Groot. They're going to stay relatively inexpensive for not that much longer, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get the drops, because I do think getting something like the Batman statue will like really help you out if you do end up getting lucky and landing one. Like what's your luck typically with drops? Because if it's like really bad usually, then I don't know, it depends. I in my personal opinion, I feel like you should play every drop no matter what. Unless you suck at comics like I do, and occasionally I'll skip them because I want to go to the gym instead or do something else, but or I just forget with comics, but I never forget the collectible drops. Yeah, no doubt, bro. Could be a pump because it's the only one from Guardian of the Galaxy. That too. It is an FA of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I will say that. If you only have one Groot, though, I would sell it for profit for this drop. But truth is, you might need way more gems than that if you're going to get in the market. Exactly. Like, it's up to you. Like, again, even if you make a riskier play and it doesn't like work out, like all it usually means is like you just don't make as much profit as if you just stayed with what you wanted originally, right? That's pretty much all it means. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it here. Like the music just stopped, which is perfect timing. It's been 15 minutes since I last said I was gonna be done. I'll answer these last couple questions and then I'll be on my way. So only have one. It's the only drop I got on drop. Oof. Yeah, man. I think like in order for you to like really leverage it, like there's, if you have no other gems to put in, like if that's literally all you have and you have like no other gems, I'm not even sure selling Groot where it's at now will even get you enough gems to play the drop, right? So maybe wait for the Medium article, find out how many gems you actually need, because it could be anywhere between 80 and maybe 120 gems. Like I have no idea. So the last thing I would hate for you to do is like sell your Groot and then you find out you're still 20 or 30 gems short and you can't put in gems for whatever reason, or you know, whatever. So I'm not sure what your situation is, but yeah, I hope that helped, dude. But yeah, I think I'm done, guys. And that seems to be it for the chat. Doesn't seem like anyone else is like asking any questions. I've had a ton of fun. I appreciate you guys showing up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on my videos and all that other stuff. And go ahead and hang out in Randy's chat. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna hop over there for a few minutes.